This is a true crime discussions channel. We speculate. This is all just speculation. Because it's true crime, it's for mature audiences only. There will be no children allowed, no exceptions. Everything on this channel falls under fair use. Please remember to like, comment, subscribe, and share. It's free.
Hey y'all, it's so good to see you. Thank you so much for being here with us on this Wednesday, I do believe it is. Hey, Abellis, girl, I was worried about you. I sent you an email just to make sure you were all right. Anders, Michelle, Pisces, Indie Girl, Bad Girl, Thomas, Luna, Gray Moon, Serena, Smoky Mountain Mermaid. Hello. It's so good to see you. Jennifer Collins, Manda, Eyes Wide Open, Jeannie Jen, Sue Joy, Chaz, Matilda, Bogart, M. Brandt. I like that there's like an orange circle around your name. That's pretty cool. Joyous, it's good to see you. Good to see you all. I will let you know that I did go into town. Is it Tuesday? I thought it was Wednesday. My bad. Okay, so I will let you know that I did go into town, and when we came back, I drove past the pole there that they're working on the tower, and I saw a man hanging from the top on his little, like, you know, the harness thing they wear. So they are still working on that. Hopefully we'll be good. Is it Tuesday? I'm already ahead. You know, I try. Content, it's good to see you. And Monet, good to see you. Thank you for being here. Okay, so we are continuing on with the depositions. Again, a deposition is basically where they're going to go over the witness statements with the people again. They're going to touch up on what they stated to officers in the beginning. The prosecution and the defense has a chance to ask them questions. It usually takes place in a law office. and they basically just brush up on their witness statement. Hey, Cara, we were asking about you yesterday too. I'm ready for this week to be over too, to be honest with you. Okay, so real quick before we get started, I wanted to show y'all this little bit of information that I found interesting.
Yes, that's exactly right.
Hold on a minute. This is going to be from Fox 35 Orlando, so please check them out. This was in our crazy news.
Story at 5:30 tonight. A man on the top 10 most wanted FBI list arrested and cuffed right here in Central Florida. It all started with a routine traffic stop, but quickly ended a years-long search for this alleged child predator.
His name is Donald Fields II. He was arrested in Lake County yesterday. He was put on the most wanted list back in May.
So in Orlando, Florida, they got this man that's on the top 10 FBI list as being wanted. Listen to what he was doing.
2023 for child sex trafficking charges. And Fox 35's Kelsey Cairns is live in Lady Lake tonight with that source.
He was arrested in 2023 for child trafficking charges. I am so glad they caught that horrible predator. Hey, Carolina, it's good to see you. Tomorrow's your birthday. I will have to get a birthday thing because the one I had kind of sucks, but I'll try to find another one and see what we can do.
So, Kelsey, you spoke to the officer about this arrest. How'd this all go down?
Yes, that's exactly right. John and Luann, this Lady Lake police officer was acting on instinct when she pulled over Donald Fields Saturday morning. Well, she didn't know who she was pulling over initially, and it was his fraudulent sticker on his vehicle that initially tipped her off about this.
So there's an officer driving behind him, and he's got, basically a fictitious sticker on his plate. Hey, Marshall Dave, because obviously if you're wanted, it's not going to be registered in your name. You're probably going to have some fictitious things going on because you're hiding, because you're on the top 10 FBI's most wanted list. Hey, Veronica, it's good to see you guys. Thank you for coming in.
Yes.
And put your hands behind your back. What? Put your hands behind your back.
That's a top 10 most wanted fugitive by the FBI getting cuffed by Lady Lake police officers.
It was a little eye-opening to me that we have people like that riding around all over on our streets, especially here in Lady Lake.
Isn't that crazy? And it is crazy to think about. I mean, just like when you drive to the store or something, think about who's driving past you in a car and what statistically are the odds that one of those people is wanted by the law, is a predator of some sort. Always keep your eyes open.
All right, hands up. Thank you. Lady Lake Police Sergeant Michelle Bilbrey is credited with tracking down 60-year-old Donald Eugene Fields II. Fields has headlined the top 10 list.
Look at all those different pictures. Seems like he always had a mustache and he doesn't have one now.
For almost 2 years now. The feds have been looking for him in connection with child sex crimes.
Children from Florida to Missouri and beyond are safer today thanks to the
Florida to Missouri? Oh my gosh. That's crazy.
diligence and brave actions of these officers.
No pin. Go figure. Open your door.
Sergeant Bilbrey's attention to detail is what got Fields off the streets. Lady Lake police say she noticed something off about a vehicle on Saturday morning that was driving near US 27 and Rolling Acres Road. The vehicle didn't match the description associated with its tag, and police say the sticker for his registration date was fraudulent.
So basically, like I said, he had fictitious tags. He has taken the VIN number off the vehicle. Just driving around in a vehicle that's sus AF.
I asked you that earlier if you had any weapons in the vehicle. You told me no. And now you said I could have a gun. I don't know. Ma'am, you get back in.
That wasn't the only fake thing investigators say he tried to get away with.
How do you, are we pulling a Jen Soto? Either you have a firearm or you don't. What's the question there, sir? Do you have one or do you not? Come on now.
Fields allegedly handed over a driver's license linked to someone 10 years younger, but that didn't fool Sergeant Bilbrey.
We continued to call him by the false name that he provided because we didn't want to alert him that we were really on to what his true identity was.
This guy's on the FBI most wanted list if this is him.
During the traffic stop, officers discovered Fields was wanted on charges related to child sex abuse and rape out of Missouri.
Now, it's out of Missouri. Could you imagine being an officer figuring out that this man is wanted by the FBI? He's in the top 10. Like, how do you, it would be hard to keep your composure, especially if you're like any of us over here at the Speculating family and see charges like that and just want to pull him out of the car and take him down to 192 where the Gators are. You know what I mean? Jelly bean.
Over time, investigators say he made changes to his physical appearance to conceal his identity. This tattoo and his fingerprint helped investigators ID him.
How was he able to stay in Florida as long as he did?
He'd been pretty transitory throughout Florida and maybe even back and forth to some degree. But they thought there was a potential he'd been in this area.
And also
traveling from Missouri to Florida. Hey, Chaz. Hey, Bazard. Hey, Corey.
So in that truck, from what we showed you in that body cam video, officers were able to recover a gun as well. Now, Fields is going to appear before a federal judge here in Florida before he's extradited back to Missouri.
How much you want to bet the firearm was not registered to him? Anybody want to bet money on it? Because I can bet you it wasn't. Okay. So let me grab my trusty dusty papers over here that Basil likes to chew on. So we are on Miss Madison Brady, whose deposition is going to be taken January 29th at 2 p.m. Actually, what is today? Tomorrow. She's going in tomorrow to speak to them at 2 p.m. I am going to start this over since it was like being horrific yesterday. I think it did start over. So tomorrow at
this is an interview with the school counselor.
They're going to call the school counselor in. They're going to go over her witness statement that we're listening to right now. They're going to brush her up on it and get her ready for court. The prosecution and the defense are both going to be able to ask her questions. Hey, Tony, good to see you. I dropped the link if anybody wants to come up, and I will pin it at the top. Jenny Jen will bet a bucket of gummy bears. Hey, Miss O. Miss O, that was the clip I just played was from Orlando a couple of hours ago where they arrested a predator that was on the top 10 FBI's most wanted list. Now we are doing the deposition for Miss Madison Brady, who is the counselor at the school. Her deposition is being taken tomorrow at 2 p.m. And we're going to talk about this because we got a lot of information out of this. By the way, rumor has it that someone off of Reddit and one of my mods are working on the maps thing and getting a lot of stuff together in that aspect so that we know what we're talking about and can kind of deep dive the maps and locations of the people. So we are working on that in the background. Also, I recorded a video last night going over the depositions list that we got most recently that basically had all the law enforcement officers. I went and found their narratives and basically what they do, and I read through it. I need to edit that, but it will be out later tonight as far as I know. All right.
Today's date is February 29th, 2024. The time is 13:02 hours. It's going to be reference to Orange County case number 24-011313. I'm Detective Bradshaw with the Orange County Sheriff's Office. Ma'am, could you state your first and last name for me, please? We're here today to kind of talk about the situation that's in. I have a couple of specific questions that I have to ask you. But can you tell me a little bit about, like, you know, what you know, your relationship with her is, just any information that you could give me on that.
So of course they were at this point still redacting Madeline's name. I turned the captions on and pinned the StreamYard link to the top if anybody would like to come up.
I met her at the beginning of this school year in an ESE meeting. She was being transferred over from 504. That she was under that in 6th grade with our 6th grade counselor, Miss Merritt, transferring over at the beginning of this year to the ESC services with our ESC staffing specialist, Miss McGregor. So I was sitting in on that meeting. In that meeting, they approved that switch.
Eyes Wide Open said, thank you. It will be nice to see if it matches what I've researched and am still working on. Oh, really? I didn't know you were working on that as well. Yeah, they're working on it. They're going to get with me. Hio has been sick. I don't know if she's in here or not, but she has been sick, but I know that they're working on it. And the lovely my lovely friend from Reddit
got switched over. I heard a little bit about her background in terms of having ADHD, a lot of problems with focus that affects her schoolwork and grades, and then some mental health concerns in terms of a lot of anxiety and panic attacks. So from there, I have been doing ongoing check-ins with her throughout the school year thus far. I think we've met about, I was looking at it earlier, 6 times.
Okay, since the beginning of the school year?
Correct.
Got it, okay.
When she has come to me, it's often.
So, I mean, you know, it's almost once a month that she's meeting with Maddie. We know that she is diagnosed with ADHD. It was in some paperwork or something I saw. I think her actual only diagnosis was ADHD, and then they were told that she has anxiety issues. Bazard said this interview with the counselor is interesting. She stated a lot of things that pointed to something seriously effed up was going on at home for Maddie. It was interesting. They're mandated reporters, and I do find it weird that nothing was said when she had the episode where she's talking about this hurts, I don't like this, and was out of school for the next couple of days. I try to give grace because, you know, you don't want to do that and be wrong. You could mess up a child's life, but I did question that. Did you, Gray? I'll check it.
Often been those feelings of panic. She's come to me like in the middle of class or during lunchtime, just feeling really panicked, kind of heavy breathing, feeling really overwhelmed. And when we've had our conversations about, well, what's going on? What's making you feel this way? I've gotten responses saying, well, it's my anxiety. Sometimes I don't know. I'm just really overstimulated with all the noise in the cafeteria. But I've also gotten responses with, well, things at home with her. And when I pressed about that, it seemed to be things along the lines of, well, she gets upset that I'm forgetful or that I don't clean my room the way she wants me to. And
so she's talking about arguing with her mom. Gray Moon, I'll have to look through. I didn't see anything. Oh, now I see it. There it is. Bazard said, yes, probably the closest Maddie has ever admitted to an adult not related to her. I would like to know what else she's admitted to adults that were related to her. Maybe some things we don't know about. Well, I hope that you are okay, and I hope your parents are okay, Veronica. I hope that everything goes good, and I'll keep you in my thoughts and prayers, love.
And we talked about what that does to affect her, and she says, yelling, that makes me get overstimulated, and then I can't respond to her in a way that she wants me to. So we discussed strategies for kind of calming herself down and talking. She's calm about how that makes her feel. And she reported to me that she did have that conversation for our past check-ins since December. So December, January, February, we had a check-in every single month, and each of those check-ins she had said to me, things are better at home and things are a little bit better at school. And I have
notice that during December, January, and February, things are better at home, things are better at school. When Stefan wasn't there, things were better. Jenny Jen said Jen's location was where she said she was. The only thing after her doctor's appointment, she might have gone to a store in that same plaza. I believe she didn't get home around 11:30 a.m. on that Monday. Yeah, we've been looking into it. We're gonna figure out some things. Pisces said if she ever did admit to any adult they failed her, and I don't think they would come forward about that. Yeah. Yep. Basil is good. He's laying in here beside me in the sun, eating some parsley. He was just a minute ago. Just chilling.
Haven't had her come to me in months with any sort of panic or anxiety. I did have her mention on occasion her home situation at that time was when I asked her about that. The only thing she really said was, I don't really like him. He's kind of weird. So I said, okay, well, what does that mean? How is he weird? Why don't you like him? And her responses were nothing of that level of concern. It was always, well, he eats all of our food and he hangs out in the living room and it makes me uncomfortable because I don't really like him, so I don't want him to be there.
So this is stark contrast to what Stepan says. Stepan claims that he was Maddie's favorite person and that she knew nothing but love in the house. Well, evidently that's not true, because she's telling her counselor that all she did was argue with her mama, and she don't like Stepan. He sits in the living room. He stalks her. I mean, think about what the ex-girlfriend said. He's staring her down from across the damn pavilion at Disney. Could you imagine him actually picking her up from school, probably staring her down while she's talking to her friends, just making her so uncomfortable? All the way around, just making her uncomfortable, eating all this child's snacks, drinking all the soda.
But nothing ever
Hey, Donna.
to the level of concern that we're seeing now. And the last thing I heard about him was he's moving out. I'm happy about that. And that's helping me feel better with home.
When was that conversation that he was moving out?
That was about a couple of months ago. So I would say around December.
Okay, so sometime in December, you guys had a meeting and she said, okay, got it. Did she ever mention anything to you about having depression or like suicidal thoughts or any suicidal attempts or anything like that?
She never mentioned anything along those lines. It was always more so focused on the anxiety and the panic.
Okay.
And a lot of times she wasn't able to verbally articulate what exactly was making that panic arise beyond feeling overstimulated or just not knowing.
Okay.
Now, hey, Bazard, it's good to see you.
Same here. I was just going to ask a question. Now, with this interview, when she brought up that she didn't like Stinky because he was weird and doing all this other kind of stuff, I was just thinking, now, is this the first time, at least from a non-relative of Maddie, suggesting that she was getting tired of Stinky?
I think this is the only time.
Okay. Because to me, it sounds like, yeah, it's like either the first time or only time where, other than, I'm trying to think, I guess, well, we already know about Lalonda and her side of the family. But yeah, like, I don't think anyone else other than, and I was thinking the Stearns too, but that's a different story with them either way. But yeah, to me, it sounds like this is the first time she even mentioned anything like she didn't like him to anyone else.
Yeah, I know that Yolanda says that she didn't like Stefan, but I don't know if she said Maddie didn't like Stefan. But yeah, this is the only thing I can think of.
That's fascinating to me.
Yeah, she felt comfortable with her counselor, I think. It's interesting, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And she just referenced Madeline coming in and having feelings of panic and anxiety and not being able to express what's making her upset, how she's overstimulated. I mean, I just think about how much Maddie was carrying all the weight from all of everything that was going on. And it's really sad to think about. By the way, you got an echo going on. Do you have your YouTube open, Bazard?
It probably might be that. Let me check that out right quick.
Okay, I'll play the interview.
All right, is it good now?
So she never mentioned to you about wanting to hurt herself, wanting.
I think so.
Okay, I think I got it.
Yep, you're good. You're good. You're good.
Cool.
Oh, there it went. I don't know.
Let me exit out and then come back again. Yeah.
Okay.
I'll do that.
Okay.
Wanting to die, wanting to, nothing like that.
She never mentioned wanting to harm herself or wanting to die. She made comments in the interactions where she was feeling panicky, saying things more so like, this hurts and I don't like this or want to deal with this, but it was never anything like I want to hurt myself or end my life or anything along those lines.
Gotcha.
So this hurts. I don't like this. I don't want to deal with this. Being a mandated reporter, I mean, okay, trying to put myself in her shoes, right? Like if a child came in, I was a counselor, they have anxiety and things. To be fair, maybe she thought, this hurts as in emotionally, like, children are hormonal, they go through emotions and things, but it's hard for me to understand that she was told specifically, this hurts, I don't like this, I don't want to deal with this, and nothing else arose from it. And I mean, I think it did, because she did say something to Jen and Jen kept her out of school. But that's weird to me. I mean, I don't know, like, as a counselor, if you talk to the parent about it and there really was nothing going on and the parent kept her out for 2 days to make sure her mental well-being was good and she came back, I would definitely speak to her immediately when she came back. And I don't know, it's a hard place to be in, right? Anders said, oh, hey, Bazard.
Is it good now?
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't hear anything.
All right. I was just gonna agree with you the same thing. I would have thought it made more sense to question Maddie again to see how she's doing when she's gone for 2 or 3 days.
Yeah. Yep. I wish more had been done. We can, hindsight is 2020, but that part's weird to me. Hey, Carrie B. Anders said, and Jennifer said, we missed him. Jennifer missed the smell of Stefan's butt, no doubt.
Yeah.
Yuck. Without Stephen Stearns around those last few months before her demise, she probably regained some independence and said no more after the party. That's what I'm thinking. I think she should have dug more too, Chaz. It's a hard place to be in, right? Because what if you're wrong? But I think I'd rather risk being wrong than risk being right and not have done something. But again, I don't want to, condemn this woman. She did what she thought was right at the time. And obviously she didn't know. But it's just the phrase, this hurts. That's a huge red flag for me. What hurts? What do you not want to continue? Like what's going on that hurts you? That's a real big flag. Anders said she didn't take it seriously because Maddie was kind of laughing as she told her about Stephen. Yeah, but like the it hurts thing, that's big. What hurts? I need to know what is hurting you. Who is hurting you? What do you not want to deal with? Are you talking about emotionally? Are you talking about physically? What's going on here?
You see, that's why I do wonder why she didn't do like a follow-up with Maddie when she was gone for those several days.
Mm-hmm.
Well, maybe because when Stefan was gone, she seemed better. That's what it sounds like when they were saying that when he was gone, she seemed to have been improving.
Yeah. So maybe she saw that she was improving and didn't think much of it.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. I think that's a possibility.
Okay. And she didn't disclose that she was taking medication for anything other than just the anxiety, or for the ADHD and the anxiety.
I didn't talk to her specifically about medication, and I can't recall what was said. It would be in the ESC meeting notes if it was discussed that she was or wasn't on medication.
And she has an IEP, you said, correct? So she switched from the 504 to the IEP.
Yes.
Gotcha. Cool. Okay. Did she mention anything just didn't like him because he ate their food and he was in their living room? Like, did she say anything else to you, disclose anything to you?
She did not. She didn't talk about...
Hey, love to hunt and Florida girl. Corey said, my niece laughed at inappropriate times to shrug off what she didn't understand. That's a good description. I think it happens a lot.
Yeah.
How close was the Stearns area? I'm not sure how close that field was to his area. Florida girl said, I think if one reports, it just means it will be further investigated. One report won't be a guilty verdict on a parent, in my opinion. Yeah.
I think in also this day and age, it's very bad to be, you're remotely accused of being let's just say an abuser, either physically or mentally. So, I mean, I guess maybe that's what the counselor was kind of thinking too, to a degree, maybe possibly.
Yeah, it's possible. I mean, you would feel really guilty if you called CPS or, reported it to her, being a mandated reporter, if you reported something and you were wrong, like, but at the end of the day, if you're wrong, they're going to do their investigation and see that, you were wrong, and that's going to be the end of it, right? Like,
Yeah, you would like hope, but I just know in this day and age, everything's so, because I think I commented in the chat, like things are so bureaucratic with schools when it comes to what
yeah,
counselors can do. So it's like it makes sense that it's so red tape and you can only do certain amount of things.
yeah. Yeah, there is, you're absolutely right about that. Veronica said, imagine the fact that Maddie could actually say this to someone was a huge step. Don't know she was there yet. So sad. Yeah, that is a huge step.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm proud of her for that. It's redacted. I did play it, I think.
Yeah. Asked her about those comments of him being weird and uncomfortable. The only thing she gave me were, well, I don't know, he's just a little weird. He eats our food and he's always hanging out in the living room and I don't really want to be around him, and nothing. And the way she said it was so like joking in terms of like, I don't know, he's weird type situation, like laughing about it. It never made me feel like there was a safety concern.
Okay, so she didn't disclose anything about him ever touching her inappropriately or them having any sort of a sexual relationship or them having any sort of an inappropriate relationship whatsoever. None of that was ever disclosed or
anything along
brought up to you. Okay.
So, she laughed and shrugged off the, she don't like him being there because he eats all the food and sits in the living room. But this hurts statement, that's not something you just shrug off. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of my issue. Like, I understand this shrugging off stuff and eating the food and being in the living room and making her uncomfortable. I definitely understand not necessarily reporting that, but this hurts is a big thing for me. Hey, Nona. No.
I wonder if she just didn't prod her more when it came to when she said, "Oh, he's weird and he eats all the food." Like this, I know it's all in hindsight, but it's like because I remember when I had to go to therapy for some years ago, it was like my therapist, she wouldn't prod per se, but she'll gently still try to each day I went, just ask me whatever particular thing was bothering me, and then I would, eventually let her know.
Right. Now, and we're thinking about, hour-long therapy sessions. These are probably like 5 or 10 minutes between class, to be fair, too.
True. Yeah, that's true.
So, yeah.
Let me check and see. There's, like I said, there's some other questions that I have to ask, and I just want to make sure that I touched on them. Okay, did you ever see, I know we talked about like the anxiety and the panic attacks, and you said she never, mentioned anything about being depressed or being suicidal or anything. Did you ever see her exhibit any of those behaviors, like that she is depressed, or that did you notice anything about her that was out of the ordinary other than the things we've already talked about?
It seemed more so to be very up and down.
Okay.
Like she would have those heightened moments of the panic and the crying and just kind of, she would go from that to just like shutting down after the panic. And then if you talked her through it a little bit, like there's one specific instance in my statement that she could not say what was making her feel that way. And so I asked her to draw it out and she was able to do that.
Okay.
And then she kind of put on there just like a lot of scribbles, which to her, she said that meant just like the chaos of all the feelings and thoughts that she's having that make her feel overwhelmed. And then words she wrote. So things along the lines of like why or crying and things like that. And after that happened, I reached out.
So that's interesting too. Like, okay, you got a child in your office that is so panicked and stricken with anxiety that they've already said this hurts, stop. And then they're at a point they can't even tell you what's wrong. So to the point that you have to have them draw it out. Like, and she said, she said she did do something after that instance, which is good. She contacted the parent, but that's still just like weird to me. Like, there's several instances that would have made me think, there's a lot of red flags. Hey, Hio, good to see you.
Yeah, I would agree with the drawing, and then, well, because then I know the investigators found the messed up drawings of the sexual crap that she was, describing um, at the by Stinky, and then it's like, I wonder if Maddie maybe drew something that maybe the counselor could have gotten more of a better picture. But I would do agree, even if I'm not a counselor or psychologist myself, but I would think a child describing and writing things like why, pain and just all this other kind of stuff, like something's definitely going on at home. And I'll
Yeah.
be more curious. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. That's a lot, like, especially for a child. And then, they can't even tell you what's wrong, which, I mean, again, to be fair, when some kids get anxious or overwhelmed, they can't really tell you what the root cause is because they themselves don't know. But when I couple that with all of the other things, it's just a lot of red flags for me.
Yep.
Florida girl, the pictures that you're referencing, I know what you're talking about, and I hate that the news put that out. It's absolutely disgusting because those pictures that she drew are just horrible. But I think they were in a notebook that nobody saw. Especially if she felt comfortable enough to draw it. It's probably going to be in a
Right.
notebook that nobody
Yeah.
saw.
hmm And that's what I was talking about. Like, I'm not saying that I'm not going to say that Maddie should have done that, for the counselor, but I think even then I would have still been questioning and more curious, like, well, why is she drawing this kind of stuff or saying it in the paperwork? I mean, on the paper.
Yes. Yep. Absolutely.
That she wasn't at school for a couple days, so I was like concerned of, okay, we went from this to now being out. What is happening? I reached out, and at that point, he's been struggling lately, a lot of tears and feelings, but that she was seeing a weekly therapist.
Okay.
So she supposedly had someone that she was seeing weekly about all of this.
Okay.
And also stated at that point she hadn't been at school because she was sick and she was going to take her to the doctor that day.
So, to be fair, again, she said that she's taken her to a therapist. So I guess the therapist is assuming, okay, she's seeing somebody that can talk to her for an hour, at a time. So if there is something going on, that person would be better equipped to get it out of her. Maybe that's where she was at with it.
Yeah, I guess she was taking Jen's word, but we all know she's a liar. So, yeah.
Yeah. And Jen was a substitute there, so she would feel like that is a person you can take at their word. I would assume.
Yeah, it's like when I heard that, I'm still shocked that she was remotely, like a teacher related or anything like that.
Yeah. Yeah. That is absolutely insane. Veronica, that makes me feel good that Basil makes you feel better. He makes me feel better too. He's such a sweetheart. And Cara, I saw that you might be having some things going on. I'm sorry for whatever is going on with you, honey. Florida girl said that's for sure. No one saw them, but she also didn't destroy them afterwards. Maybe she was hoping someone would see. I mean, it's definitely a possibility.
Yeah, that's true.
Hey, Meemaw. Do we think Maddie realized what was happening when she was younger? Probably not. I don't know if she realized at all. There's a possibility that she was drugged during all of it and maybe not have even known what was causing it.
I kind of have that same viewpoint too. I think he definitely was using the drugs, and then when she was more getting older, I guess, in his stupidity, was doing things while she was more alert.
Yeah. Shell pointed out the counselor having her draw her feelings out probably prompted Maddie to start drawing the pics we saw. Maddie seemed very close to telling someone about what was happening to her, and that could be a possible motive.
Mm-hmm.
Maddie needed to hear, "Nothing you tell me will shock me, get you in trouble, make me not like you, etc." She needed a safe place. Absolutely, she did.
Yeah.
And she mentioned seeing the drawing that from our conversation, and I, encouraged her to share that with mom, so she did. And she said that she appreciated that and that helped her in that day, which at the end of that conversation with her, she was able to calm down and feel better. But at that point, that's when it got a little concerning, to the point that I reached out to mom just to say, hey, what's going on? And found out, okay, she at least has supposedly weekly therapy sessions outside of school.
And most of these things you said that would trigger these panic attacks or these anxiety inducing issues were because of issues that were going on with them, correct? Like where she would argue with.
It seemed to be a combination of bringing that from home, the arguments and the feeling like she's taking on those feelings at home of, I don't feel safe, in terms of not necessarily physically safe, but emotionally safe, that at me and causing me to feel overstimulated. And then I come to school and it's loud and there's lots of kids and I'm overstimulated again.
But it wasn't. It's usually.
I'm gonna do a poll real quick because I do have a question I need to ask y'all. And I just want to let you know that real quick. While we're listening.
She said along the lines of, my room's not clean, or you forget to do this, or you don't do that. So to me, that's like thing about it was never,
especially at that age, with the teenage age,
So yeah, and again, to be fair, it sounds like she thought it was just normal teenage stuff. I don't know about y'all, but me and my mom fought like cats and dogs. A lot of teenagers do.
Yeah, that's true.
But I mean, it's just weird to me though. Like, this hurts. That's a big thing for me because that's a huge red flag. This hurts. I don't. That's the biggest thing for me. Like, I'm like, I just. Okay. That's just that again, it's just hard for me to know that she said that and nothing was really done. Well, she did what she could, I suppose.
And then, she went to try to talk to Potato, but potatoes have their own little issues.
Yeah. Yeah. And that potato certainly did.
Yes.
Okay, so how about her grades or her behavior? Have you noticed any shift in her grades or the behavior that she would normally exhibit?
Grades have seemed stable. We've been working on, in our check-ins, kind of coming up with strategies because of her ADHD and in terms of getting her missing work in to bring up the grades. And she seemed to be making improvements with that since around December, when she started reporting things are better at home, at school. Our last check-in was February 6th, I believe. And at that point, she was very happy that day. I called her down just to do our check-in, and she said things are going really well. She feels really happy. Things are better. They're better at school. And that was the last time we had a check-in.
And that was because of the strategies that you had kind of given her to help her?
Yes, she had been getting some of that work in. Her teachers are working with her because she has the IEP, and she said that she used the strategies at home to talk about when we're calm, let's talk about what it's like when we're not calm and how that makes us feel.
Gotcha.
She said she was able to successfully do that.
So thank you, Cara, for gifting 10 Speculation Station memberships. That was so very sweet of you and so supportive. Thank you so much.
Yes,
I'm going to come pick up our new members. If you were gifted a membership from Cara, please tell her thank you. Actually, since I've got it on my phone, I might be able to tell who got a membership. Oh, no. Hold on. Oh, it's not showing up for me yet on here. I don't know why it's not showing up.
Picture me in
it. Okay. Thank you, Cara, so much for that. If you were gifted a membership from Cara, please tell her thank you, and I'm going to come pick y'all up. Coming with the crazy train to pick y'all up. We're going to get gin soda. We're on the way.
We're coming for you, Potato.
Yes.
Good. That's excellent. Okay. I know we talked a lot about, like, you know, kind of just briefly mentioned with her. And I know you've only known her for a short period of time, but you haven't noticed a dramatic shift from when you first met her to now that's negative. Like, have you?
Correct. When this first came up, my first thoughts are, oh, things have been better. So
Okay.
I'm like,
so it's surprising to you, it
yes,
sounds like.
How
did we get to this point?
Yes.
Okay. So there's nothing that would stand out to you that would make you think that something was on, like that things were declining at home. You actually thought things were actually getting better at home based on what she was telling you.
From the information that I had from her,
okay,
without at that point having spoken to friends or anything I had, to me, the perception was things are getting better.
And what was the last date that you met with her?
February 6th.
And that was the date that she was like, hey, things are getting better. We're using these strategies at home and all of that. Got it. Okay.
We're supposed to have our next session to follow up this week.
So she was supposed to talk to her the week that she went missing again.
Yeah.
So I did just start a poll. I don't know how to like take the yes and no out of there. So you have to like answer like the first recaps or body cam from that night. I asked you, do you want to discuss the body cam from the night Maddie went missing, or first recaps of the day that Maddie went missing from Jen and Stearns? After we do this, and I think we got the deposition from the second flat tire witness, and there's a short teacher interview. So basically, I couldn't take the yes and no out of there. I haven't quite figured out how to do that. So you have to answer it like first recaps or body cam from that night. Please and thank you.
Oh, I was gonna say he was asking me to tell you something.
Is there anything else you can think of that I have not asked you that you want to relay to me while I have you in?
I apologize, love. What'd you say?
Oh, I put in the backtrack, but he was asking to tell you to check your phone.
Oh, okay. I will do that. Thank you.
No problem.
Hey, Lilo, and hello. Thank you for being here.
Right here. To me, the only things that are sticking are the comments of he is weird and I don't like him. And I wish I had more information to say where that came from, but when I asked that, all I got was he eats our food, he hangs out in the common areas.
Okay.
You can hear with that side that she does feel bad about not pressing her on why she didn't like it, which makes me upset.
I feel like maybe the counselor probably is, other than aside from the potato side of the family and a little bit of the Stearns, that she maybe could have figured out, okay, well, it seems whenever this man is living with Maddie, she's depressed, going through these moods. And then when he's gone, boom, she's doing better in school, the grades. And I think if things went a little bit longer, unfortunately, that would still be bad for Maddie. I think the counselor probably would have noticed a correlation at the very least.
Yep. And I know that, there's no way that other people in her life didn't realize that she was doing way better when Stephen wasn't there. And I don't, as a parent, you have to put your personal feelings aside. If your child's doing better without him there, then obviously you need to keep him away.
Yeah.
I don't know what else to say about that. I mean, again, I try to be non-biased and try to look at it from all perspectives, but like she's improving. You are already broken up. You've broken up before. If you felt you needed to talk to him, I would damn sure have done it in private. I damn sure wouldn't have had him coming around my child anymore if she's doing better. Now I'm going on the premise that Jen doesn't know about the CSAM and the abuse, right? Like if
Right.
the child is doing better without him there, you damn sure ain't gonna bring him back in the house. If you feel like you must absolutely see him, then you need to do it during the day while she's at school and just not have him around.
Exactly. And then the whole thing that still baffles me is that, you know, I'm trying to remember the detectives did question her about, I don't think they did, like, why didn't you have Maddie stay with your mom or your sister who didn't live that far? And why would you want a guy that you've been having an on off breaking up relationship to take care of your daughter?
Yep.
I don't know if they did ask her that, but like I said, if I was there, I would have been like, well, wouldn't it make more sense that she could have stayed with your mom if you had to work, or you needed rest or whatever for the next 2 days?
Yeah. And it doesn't make any sense because she had been at grandma's since Wednesday. And I'm sure she could have stayed with grandma a little longer, number one, or number two. All you had to do, I mean, really, all you had to do was take her to school and pick her up. It's not that serious. She's old enough to get herself a snack or whatever. Make sure she's got dinner and you can rest. But regardless of that, she had people to help her. She had people that did
Yep.
help her.
Yep.
So
That's the number one question. It's like I said, if I was one of the detectives, I just would have grilled her on that.
yeah. Hey, Weegob says counselors are not allowed to press for information. It has to be freely given, or it can be said it was put into the child's head. Thank you for bringing that to my attention. Now that you say that, that does sound legitimate, and I appreciate you putting that out here. So that's probably another reason why. Then, Heo sent me that LJ was gifted. Since Simsky Rainbow was gifted, Petunia was gifted, NG was gifted, Phony was gifted, Coral Forbin was gifted, Curious Christine, Kimmy C123, and RMB0523 was gifted. So thank you, Car. That was super sweet. I've got 3 comments real quick. Jen said they asked her why he came back to take Maddie to school. Jen said she wanted to see her daughter more during the week. Yeah, that's what she said. But I would say that, with the sister living right there, why couldn't the sister just take her to and from school? Like, if that's legitimately the only reason you had him there, why not let the sister do it? She lives literally next door in walking distance per the police. Heather said, so things were good when Steppenstern's absence, but was the question asked to whether the situation regarding guests at home was different? That's a good point.
Yep, that's a good one.
I would think if it was better at school and things, like, I don't think the guests at home made a difference. It's just Stefan, because the same roommates that were there would have been there the whole time that she's doing better in school and she's doing better at home. Like, the roommate situation would have stayed the same. The only thing that had changed was Stefan was gone.
Yep, the one big constant factor.
I think I saw Shaboogies come in, Miss Kimmy Akers, Sue Joy. Hey to y'all. I don't know if I've said you yet, Sue Joy. I think I might have. Miss Kimmy said, was Jen and Maddie's relationship better because with Stephen Stearns being away from the condo, Jen felt there wasn't any competition? That's a possible speculation.
I still think she still shit on Maddie due to the whole Tyler situation. I think that's one of the reasons why I feel like she always mistreated Maddie in various aspects, was the whole Tyler situation.
Yeah, I think she did too. And then Sue Joy said, Maddie doing good for a time when Stephen Stearns away, having a meltdown on the phone with a friend the day before the party and doesn't want to go home. Moody at birthday party, it adds up. Yep.
Right. I know. It's like,
I think this is just
all right. Do you swear to affirm everything you told me is true to the best of your knowledge? Yes. Okay, perfect. So the time is now 13:15 hours.
Oh, we are almost neck and neck. So first recaps right now is at 34%, 35%. Body cam footage from the night Maddie went missing is at 29%. So we'll end up doing both. I'll have to figure out which one we'll do today. We'll listen to the third period teacher. That is going to be Mr. Italio Brett. and that deposition is taking place tomorrow at 2:40. And then Kenneth Dale, I think, is the second flat tire witness. So we'll listen to these two and then do wherever our poll is at, the first recaps or the body cam from that night. Because these are short.
This is an interview with Madeline's third period teacher.
Which one is the teacher or the
third period teacher? I think
other
that's new to me.
Oh, really?
I don't think I've heard it. I've
It's
heard the
interesting.
counselor. Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting because they talk about how she's always sleepy at school. All of them do, really. Hey, Miss Peacock and Miss blah blah blah. Yeah, I'll make sure the captions are on so you can hear it.
Today's date is February 29, 2024. The time is 15:20 hours. It's reference to Orange County case number 24-011313. I'm Detective Bradshaw with the Orange County Sheriff's Office. Sir, can you state your first name for me, please?
My name is Italo.
Okay, so I just had a couple of questions for you in reference to assume that she was one of your students. Would that be correct?
She was, yes.
Okay, what period did you have her in?
I had her initially in 6th period for the start of the year. And
Okay.
then she requested to be moved 3rd period because she was having some issues of like not being able to keep up, or rather, she was keeping up, but it was too many behavioral issues around her. So she was getting tired. She requested to move to 3rd.
So not behavioral issues like specifically with her, but with other kids that were in your
yeah.
class that she didn't like.
Correct. Yeah.
I got it. Okay. Did she ever talk to you about her home life, anything that was going on with her? Anything like that?
No.
She never said anything to you? Did at any point, did she ever disclose any sort of physical or sexual or mental abuse to you?
No.
Okay. Did she mention anything to you about having any suicidal ideations, ever making any attempts at suicide?
No.
Okay. Did she ever express to you at any time if she had any mental or medical diagnosis?
No.
Okay. Did she discuss taking any medications with you for anything?
No, the only time I've ever seen her take anything was Tylenol. In
Okay.
the front office, Ms. Schilling could confirm with that too, because we both kind of saw her because we were trying to figure out how to sure that she was okay to take those.
Okay.
So
Did you notice any sort of like recent changes in her behavior from the start of the school year until now?
not really, no. She just seemed happier within the 3rd period class that we were in,
Okay.
which is the advanced treble course I have. She seemed happier there. She learned her music really quickly, as with the rest.
I got frustrated with Discord too. It took me about 3 days to set it up. I had to watch a YouTube video and get help. I don't see it on my side, but I was reading. Oh, now I can't find it here. Well, never mind. Hold on, I'll find it again and read the comment. Sorry.
With the rest of the girls in that class, she usually is very participatory. She's usually up performing with us. She doesn't miss a concert. She doesn't miss anything. The only thing I guess I could note is like on Friday she was sitting, but that a lot of the girls sit at random times, and that's related to either they have cramps or whatever. So I didn't think that was odd, but she usually is up and participating and active.
She didn't tell you that anything was wrong on Friday?
No.
Okay. She didn't mention to you that anything had been going on or that she was feeling sad?
I see that y'all are asking about what qualifications do you have to be a school counselor. We'll look that up real quick because that is a good thing to look at.
I'm thinking, basic graduation, basic skills. I don't know what I'm talking about. It's like I feel like she has the basic thing, basically.
Yeah, I knew I spelled counselor wrong. It says 8-week classes, school counselor degrees. So you do have to have a degree.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, here we go. To become a school counselor, you need to earn a bachelor's degree, a master's degree, and complete an internship. You'll also need to pass a state required exam and apply for a license. So that's pretty interesting. At least she had a lot of qualifications.
This one does. Yeah, she sounds like it very much. So.
Hold on just a minute. Hey, Bogart. Okay.
Bad or down or anything like that? Okay. And you haven't, in your opinion, you haven't seen her have any sort of signs that she's been depressed since the beginning of the school year at all, or any suicidal?
Like, she just seemed pretty normal, very, very happy, easy making her friends. I would say she bloomed a lot more in third because she had her friends there. So
Okay.
she was more outspoken and more confident. She's very helpful in my class. She even organized my piano once because it was all papers on top of it. She put it all together. She wanted to do that. So, that's not anything off about her.
Okay.
That was interesting to me that she got all the papers organized for him on his piano, but to hear, Jen talk about her, she was messy at home and didn't really like to clean up and things like that. They argued about it.
Yeah, she made her sound like she was lazy at best.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Hey, Malibu
But
Surf.
I was gonna say, when I saw the pictures in her room looked better than Jen's.
It sure did. It absolutely did. And I wonder if that's because she kept a cleaner room, or did Jen or somebody clean up her room?
Good point.
Because we still don't know technically where it happened. Supposedly it happened in room number 4, but there's no fluids or anything on bed number 4. And yes, he could have done laundry, but I mean, still the mattress pad, the mattress. I don't know, like when death occurs, you usually release. There's no muscles to hold in, like your bladder and other things. All of the muscles relax because there's nothing telling it to stay tight, so you would release your fluids and things, and that would get on the mattress. I mean, I don't know how you could clean that up without it getting on the mattress.
Especially when the time frame the roommates believe he was starting to wash stuff, or at least using the laundry, which was like what? It was still like early in the morning, like 4 or 5 or 6, something like that.
Well, they were up at like 7:45. They saw him that day, so I think it was a little later. But yeah, I mean, he did laundry that morning sometime. Yeah, but I mean, I don't. They found something on that charcoal blanket and on her bed, and we've heard about pictures happening in her room. So again, that's why I'm saying I wonder if it was cleaned, because I'm wondering if that's where it happened.
Yeah, because originally I was thinking, did he already abused her by the time he came? Because she was already at the house. What was it, like 8 or something, or 7? I forgot.
8. She got back at 8:30.
Okay, and then he came several minutes or an hour later, something like that.
Something like that, yeah.
Okay, because I always kind of thought maybe he did abuse her immediately, like he was so freaking addicted and everything
Yeah,
to it.
I think it's a possibility. Blah 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 said that doesn't always happen. So there is a possibility that she didn't release any fluids, but I think, considering that she had just eaten and drinking, I would think that she probably did. I don't know.
Yeah.
Because like in hospice, they don't let them have fluids or feed them if you're in hospice care, because I guess they don't want that to happen. I don't know. But like, I think it's just like when you haven't eaten or drinking in a while, then there's a possibility that it might not happen. If I had to guess, I'm not a medical professional.
It's happened, like, on my side. I've seen that before, but there's other reasons why sometimes they just, a lot of times when they're at that point where they can't eat, they just can't eat anymore. So the only thing they can truly get is liquid, sometimes liquid type of substance, but then again, eventually they just can't eat anymore at all or drink anything at all.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I appreciate you sharing that, because yeah, you're somewhat of a medical professional.
Yeah.
I appreciate it. Jess G said, it definitely helps looking at the sweet little bunny nose. I had to take a break from this case. It's so upsetting what this little girl was enduring at home. I pray she will receive justice. Me too. And I'm glad Inspector BS is helping you out.
Yep.
Thank you for being here. Yeah, so you're definitely the one to talk to about that. You would know more than I would, for sure. Hold
Now, I
on.
don't know how you like do your grades or anything like that in your class. Has she declined at all in her participation, like in her grades, anything of that nature that you've
No,
noticed?
She maintains pretty steady, and I just grade participation if you're standing and performing and the concerts. So I've not noticed anything of decline. She is there. That the only time, and even on Friday when she was sitting, I think she was still singing with us. She was just sitting down, which was the only thing,
That was different.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. How about her? You've never overheard her talking to her friends about anything like that at all?
Right, when I send a message and talking points or whatever, she reads them. I got her before me on Monday evening. Wasn't home yet.
Okay.
She was like, "Hey, is school today?" So she, so she knows, she can reach out to me and it's open to do so and anything because that's, she's always involved. So.
Okay. So since the beginning of the school year, more so happy now that she's in your third period, able to make friends. She's
Sorry, I had a phone call I was trying to return. Donna said, take it out. Just sit on the counter. It's got to thaw. Thank you. Donna said, I think he started the laundry after he put Maddie in the car and Jen finished it. The gray blanket could be food Jen seemed to eat in bed. It's definitely a possibility.
Yeah, when I saw that, I was like, I kind of laughed at it. Like, yeah, it could be just the thought of, yeah, it's like just the thought of potato just being potato. Just it amazes me sometimes.
Yeah. Me too.
pretty consistent. So nothing out of the ordinary that you can think of off the top of your head that would be alarming or
alarming. The only most alarming thing I've seen was the message that Monday when she was missing. So
okay. And what was that message?
I can read it to you.
Okay.
Talking points. So this was through the app Talking Points. Talking Points is what district and county uses to communicate between teachers.
Okay.
It's faster than emails, just texting. So that's loading. So on Monday, February 26th at 5:36 p.m., she said, "Hi."
Okay, that was really important to me. So she's emailing the teacher asking if Madeline was at school at 5:36, but supposedly at 4:10 is when she left the school to go to grandma's work to see if Maddie was there. She called Bestie between 4:35, 4:45 and is going back to the school. Why is she waiting almost an hour to text and say, why is she waiting an hour to text the teachers to see if Madeline had been at school when she's leaving school so abruptly at 4:10 when she could have been in the bathroom, she could have been staying behind to talk to a teacher about an assignment. There's so many reasons, like you didn't even go in the school office to ask if she was there that day or not. And then it's a whole hour later that you finally emailed the teacher.
Right. She's doing things that would, I guess, I'm thinking is she was trying to do things to make it look like everything was okay and fine until at a certain point when she couldn't get in contact with Maddie. But then it's like stuff like this with the timing just is weird. You could have just stayed at the school and looked for her and then act like, oh, I looked for Maddie. I stayed until 5, let's say they at 5:36 p.m. and I didn't see her. So I started getting worried, but no, potato just does potato stuff. That's my saying. It's like potato does potato things.
Potato does what potato does.
Mm-hmm.
Make it to school today. She hasn't made it home today. Then at 5:53, when I was able to reply back, I said, "Hi, Miss Soto. I don't know." Checking Sky where she was absent for periods 1 to 5 and period 7. Period 6, I guess, hadn't marked her, but that's not really so strange because sometimes teachers just forget. That happens. So, but yeah, I told her, that's very alarming. Just, please keep me informed. And I reported it to my teacher mentor. So, and then she reported it to Kelly Armstrong and everyone else in the school. And I guess and she'd been waiting for the police for a while. So I kind of talked a little bit then. I asked at 6:20 she was home yet.
So the teacher's checking back in to see if she'd made it home yet, if they'd heard anything on the front that Maddie was missing. Carr said, I'm curious if he always had towels or other things down on the bed before he did anything to Maddie to keep the mattress clean. You can wash sheets and blankets, but cleaning a mattress is hard.
Oh yeah.
It's
Yeah.
a possibility, but considering how disorganized and nasty he was, as we've heard from his friend and his parents, I highly doubt it.
Yeah.
Hasn't made it home yet. Waiting for the police, and then cop trying to speed things up, but that was it. So then I haven't reached out back because I'm trying to give her space. So
Okay. Is there anything else you can think of that I haven't asked you that you can recall right now, or anything else you want to tell me?
Nothing comes to mind. I think, I just, her behavior is very consistent in class. She's, whenever I see her out of class or whatever, I would say hi. She replies back normally. So
And she seems like a pretty happy.
Yeah, she just seems pretty happy. It was just, and that's what part of it why it was so shocking that she'd be gone is just how close it happened, how she just, whenever people started saying maybe she ran away, it just didn't seem like it to me that she could be the type to run away.
Okay.
But then, of course, information started coming out about what was happening. So
Gotcha. Okay. Do you swear and affirm everything you told me is true to the best?
Okay, so that was that teacher, and then we've got real quick the second flat tire witness, which I do believe is Mr. Kenneth Dale. Kenneth Dale's testimony is going to be taken tomorrow at 3:20 p.m. So we'll listen to his testimony.
This is the interview of a second person who saw.
So this is another hero that saw stepping stones with the flat tire on the side of the road. And after we listen to this, we'll go back to the very first recaps of the night Maddie went missing and pick out all the inconsistencies, because I know there's a lot in those. Jess G said, I'm suspicious that Jen Soto was either involved or responsible and hope she will be held accountable if she was. I hope so too. Right now, it's not looking good on that front, but I hope she is held accountable for what she did.
Oh, I was going to say, I did look up the Veronica. Is it Martin? Is that how you say her last name?
Probably, yeah.
The case in it was New Mexico, correct?
Oh, Martin's, yeah. Yeah.
Martin.
That.
So, yeah, I did look it up. I'm speechless. I just saw something that was kind of recently, but it was from last year, where the mom finally got, unfortunately, like a 12-year sort of sentence.
Well, there's more to that though, because she is not, and that's why it stuck out to me. She's not mentally all there, and supposedly it was a big false confession. They state that she's a people pleaser, and so basically she told the cops what they wanted to hear, or what they pressed her to say. So that case is curious. I thought about, if I get the information back, we'll probably talk about it.
I do. Yeah, I personally, I think there's a lot more going on. It's always like something else going on, but for whatever reason, it's still kind of almost shut down and closed by authorities. That's to me what it feels like. Yeah.
That Fabian and Jessica Kelly,
Oh yeah.
they are a disgrace.
They are something else. Yeah.
They are straight from the pits of hell.
That case, yeah, I was very disturbed by that one. That was very disturbing.
That's why, I was like, that one left a scar on me. That case, yeah. Heather Wells says, never force a person in hospice to eat or drink. Their system knows what it needs to do. My mom stopped eating and drinking, and we were trying to get her to eat and drink and advised not to worry. Yeah,
Yeah, that's true.
It always bothered me about the hospice thing, not feeding them or drinking them, because I always felt like they were going to starve or thirst to death, but evidently that's not the case. It always made me nervous though.
It varies, but for a lot of times, the individuals I was taking care of, those on hospice, they were already close to passing away. So it was just giving them either morphine, just making sure they don't have any bed sores, because you can definitely get real bad bed sores real quick. But yeah, it was just making sure that their passing was as peaceful as the best way I could describe it as possible.
Yeah. Diana said, if it does come to the point that they say they will not charge her, can we press them on that? Is it nothing that we, the public, can do? No, it's not a stupid question. I don't know what we could do other than maybe protest a little bit, but
Yeah.
I don't know that that'll make them charge her.
I mean, if they don't, like I've always said, she'll just be tarred and feathered by the public. Even wherever she goes, she can't really change her identity. We all kind of know what she looks like. She may cut her hair or do more Botox crap or whatever, but it's like, no, we're gonna know what you look like, and yeah, the public will just tar and feather you.
Yeah. Yeah.
God forbid she doesn't have any more children. I'd be like, oh my God, don't be like Casey. Well, I thought I heard she was supposedly pregnant again or something like that, but
God, I hope not.
yeah, it's like, nope, no children for you. None.
Yeah, we don't need that. Okay.
Stephen Stearns changing his tire that day that he had just finished dumping poor Maddie's body.
All right, the date is March 20, 2024. The time is 1:56 p.m. Myself, Detective Morris, Detective Smallwood. Detective Morris. How you doing, sir? Nice to meet you. So first name's Walter, right? Yes. Okay, and all right, I got a phone call from...
Okay, this is not Kenneth Dale. As we just heard, this is Walter. We'll go ahead and listen to it. I'll probably speed it up a little bit. So we'll have to look for him on the deposition, Walter, see if they're going to even question him again. Let's speed it up a little bit so we can get into the recaps.
I'm assuming your wife yesterday? Yeah. And saying that you possibly have seen the news about the missing girl that was found deceased in St. Cloud. Yes. And she's told me that you were possibly in the area and saw something on Monday the 26th. Is that right? Okay, what did you see?
All right. Coming home from 192 on Hickory Tree, I observed that gray vehicle, Lincoln is it?
Okay.
With a black rear tire. He was on the side of the road.
Okay.
Stooping down in the back, looking at the tire, which I found odd.
Okay.
So normally, I just blew it off. That was around 12:30.
So that puts him there at about 12:30. So that lets us know that it wasn't done first thing in the morning like we were discussing the possibility of yesterday. It was definitely done at around 12:30. Well, I mean, I guess that's when he got the flat tire, but I would assume that's when he was doing his deed. Jenny Jen said, I think Kenneth is one of the experts. It's very possible. Veronica said, and I've been thinking that when Stephen Stearns moved to room number 4 and his dad was paying the $600 for rent, he kept it to himself, and Jen agreed too.
I can see that. I could totally see that.
Yeah, I had an email. I'll read it. I'll pull it up and read it to you in just a second, kind of referencing a little bit of that.
12:30. Okay. How confident are you that it was 12:30?
Pretty good, because that day it was the lawn's not really grown yet, so I just usually check my customers, and I came down. I forget the name of the street there, but anyway, got on to Hickory Tree Road. I'm going home, and I have a client just a block away from where I saw this character.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm not going to cut it. So it was about 12:30. It was a quick run that day.
Where was your client? Is on one of the side streets over there, or
he's further down?
Further down.
Yeah.
Okay. When you passed this vehicle, was the vehicle facing as if it was driving towards 192 or back into town?
192, correct. 192.
What Hickory Tree Road are you talking about? Because there's a couple of different ones.
Okay.
It's the same one, but it's
I
different.
know, it's weird. Old Hickory Tree comes into Hickory. Like
We're talking about Old Hickory by Harmony, coming through Harmony?
I'm talking right here in St. Cloud.
192.
Yeah, 192.
The one by there's a 7-Eleven, or the one by the Wawa?
Get a piece of paper, I'll show you. That this is
what if I give you a map?
Yeah. Because if you go out here to
Malibu Surf, I'm so sorry, honey. I'm so sorry. I can't pull that email up without pulling the person's name, and I don't want to do that. If they want to tell you who they are, they're more than welcome. But they said, I am unsure if you covered this, but this is in reference to the timeline of Stephen Stearns and Jen Stearns broke off their relationship and Stephen Stearns moved into room number 4. Apparently, during the police interview with Jen Soto, not sure of the date for this particular interview, but Jen Soto stated that Stephen Stearns and Jen Soto ended their relationship in June of 2023, and Stephen moved into room number 4. During the derivative use immunity police interview, they questioned Jen Soto about the text she sent to Stephen Stearns on June 16th, 2023 at approximately 9:30 p.m. and 27 seconds, stating, Maddie's no longer sleeping with me. I can't risk it. At which Jen Soto responded to the interviewer that she couldn't remember sending the text or why. So if they broke up in June and she sent the message on June 16th that Maddie's no longer sleeping with me and I can't risk it, I mean, it could be in reference to why they broke up, and that could be a possibility of why the police are pressing everybody so much on if they know why they broke up. Because obviously Jen's not saying anything, and
Right.
that's questionable. Especially stating that Maddie can't sleep with me anymore. I can't risk it when you state that Maddie has to sleep with you every night.
See, now like, hearing that over again, it just sounds so bizarre. Like I said, if I was a detective, I'd be like, okay, what do you yeah, I would grill her ass, but it's just like, to me, it's like, what are you implying, Potato? Like, so you don't want your daughter to sleep in her own room or bed anymore? You want her to sleep in your bed now? But then you just told us that you like it all the time for her to do that. What
Yeah.
are you getting at, Potato?
Yeah, like she can't sleep alone, but you can't have her in the bed with you. So what other conclusion is there to make other than she sleeps with Stephen Stearns every single night?
Mm. Yeah.
Hey, Slim Summers. Thank you for being here. I think Jen possibly caught them in the act too. I really do.
Oh, yeah.
Deer Run, take a right. That's where he dumped the body off. Okay. If you take a left, that's where he was stopped. And where I saw him, I was coming home this way, back to Deer Run.
Okay. We're obviously here.
Yeah.
You come out to Deer Run, you take a right.
Yeah.
Okay. Hickory Tree here.
Correct. Old Hickory Tree, you gotta find.
So you want by the elementary school, right?
Nope.
So
Deer Run, Hickory Tree. Then you're gonna, on the left will be Old Hickory Tree.
Okay. So you've come up, you take a right on Deer Run, you go out to Hickory Tree, you go all the way up.
Left.
Hey, always.
Left on a Nolte, then to get back on Old Hickory Tree?
No, don't even go on Nolte. Not even near it. Old Hickory Tree is before Nolte.
So it goes back in towards the new development back there.
Yeah. Now I'm gonna, on the right hand side, they just put in a single wide trailer house back there. You'll see it's all brand new.
Jenny Jen said broke up in December of 2022, started dating Disney X around that time, but was still sleeping with Jen and Maddie. And in June 2023, moved upstairs. Yeah.
Yeah, that's woo-wee.
Yeah. And it tells me how long the abuse had been going on.
Yeah, what a busy little boy he was.
Nasty son of a gun.
Yeah.
It's before that. And the day that they thought he was in the dump trailer next to that, that's when we drove by and saw all the activity.
Mm-hmm.
So it's before that. I'm going to tell you, there's those speed signs, 45 miles an hour. He was dead stop right there. And I found it weird. He was stooping down looking at his tire.
Do you remember what he was wearing?
Just a black face. I couldn't tell because it was like, there's somebody in trouble or something. I thought, just.
So you said the person that you saw had a black face?
Yeah.
So you're saying is that
beard, black.
Oh,
black
okay.
beard.
Could you tell if he is white, black, Spanish?
No, could not tell.
Okay.
Is he Spanish? I don't know if he is or not. But.
Jeans, shorts, short sleeves, long sleeves.
Stooping down like this, looking at the tire. Okay. So you couldn't see, but just he was looking at that tire, and I just found it weird that he was stooped in the back like that. When there was no jack out, there was no instruments of that nature. Just crouching down, like
Was
hiding.
so the black tire that you saw,
Yeah.
could you tell if it was a regular tire, spare tire?
It's one of those donuts.
Donut.
Yeah, just like they showed on TV. That
So he was hiding. You know, why was he hiding? Well, probably because of what he just did. Again, like I talked about, he would have been scared to damn death about anybody rolling up on him, anybody seeing him. He doesn't want anybody to be able to place him at the scene of the crime. And these people are driving by. This person drove by and saw him, and he looked scared because obviously in hiding because he didn't want to be seen. He didn't want to be placed at the scene of the crime by anybody.
Yeah.
Or not the crime, but the dumping of her body.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I can see that. Totally see that.
Mm-hmm. Hey, Angela. Angela.
black donut tie. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. When did you realize that the two possibly were connected?
We went out to eat that night, and there's all the police activity detectives on looking at that dump trailer.
Mhm.
My wife says, "Oh, it's that girl they found her." I says, "What are you talking about? I didn't even know. I don't know what's going on."
Okay. And then any idea why it took you guys a few days to call?
Because
authorities?
everybody had called in and saw he was already getting caught. This character, they caught him. They locked him up, and I had no thought that he was involved. I says to my wife, "Yeah, I saw that guy."
Mm-hmm.
You know, just casually talking. It was, I think, Tuesday, but Monday we drove by the trailer house. You want to take a drive up there?
I'm confused as to where you're. So
Yeah,
if
I
you
know.
go out Deer Run, right?
Yes, sir.
Take a left on Hickory Tree.
Yes, sir.
Then where are you going from there?
They headed towards 192, but Old Hickory Tree is before he stops. Okay, he stopped right after Old Hickory Tree. It comes into Hickory Tree. You want to go up there? I'll show you exactly where it is.
Well, I mean, I grew up on that road. Give me a landmark as to where.
Landmark. The one before that is going to be that new trailer house going in. It's just a real.
I believe it's that goes back to where Charlie and Elvin live, whatever that subdivision is.
Yeah, I know the name. I can't think of it. So let's just take a look here.
How long have you lived out here? Where it used to be Orange Groves?
20 years. More than that, since 92. How long you been here? All your life?
Mm-hmm.
Where about you live?
I'm now.
Okay, I'm going to speed this up a little bit. We've only got about another minute or two left. Again, it's just a flat tire witness. They can attest, they can put stuff in at the scene of where her body was found in a scared state because obviously he was afraid.
Mm-hmm.
Now up in Narcoossee, but
I don't really.
Correct.
Okay, and so was he on
Hickory Tree?
New Hickory Tree, or is he actually over on Old Hickory Tree?
He's on Hickory Tree.
He's
if
on.
You want to call it new?
Right.
Okay, we'll call it new.
Okay, and he was going toward 192.
Can you see where your Old Hickory comes in?
Right here. So this used to be a curved road right here around these orange groves.
Where does it connect up to?
Right here.
Okay, right here, mister. Right there, bunk right there. You'll see a speed limit says 45, and you'll see a trail like everybody pulls off there, like I don't know why.
Right around in here.
Yeah, not much more. Don't even go past the new houses right here. He was just. You see that 45-mile-an-hour sign?
Okay.
Dead nothing right there.
Okay.
Sorry I didn't call in early, bud.
No, that's okay. And you said this was around 12:30?
I would say definitely before 1 o'clock. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Why do you say before 1 o'clock? Did you
Because
get home at 1 o'clock?
Because I got home. I looked at my clock over there. It was like I'm gonna say 12 o'clock, but I got here by 12:30 most likely. Or I was on the road at 12, and I saw that situation on the side of the road.
Okay. All right. Do you have anything? No. All right. Do you swear everything that you told us the truth, nothing but the truth, and the best you know?
Okay, so that's the end of that one. Jenny Jen said, or always LB said, I think Maddie was deceased the night of the party. I also think Jen knew she was as well. Why else would she lie about seeing her? That's a big thing for me. Why did you lie about seeing her that morning? Why did you say you saw her that morning? And we're going to go back to the very first statement, the very first time she recaps that night, and listen to that again. I don't know if this would have been after they were in the grandma's insurance office, but I'll never figure that out. Why did you say you saw her that morning? I mean, again, you're not going to think at the time, the very first time you're telling them, you know, what happened that day, you wouldn't automatically think that they would be looking at Stephen Stearns unless you already knew he was guilty and you're trying to keep them off of Stephen Stearns, trying to point them in another direction. But again, why would you be doing that unless you already knew he was guilty? Which would tell me that you knew about the crime, you knew way more information than you let on. So we'll start with this one. This is Stefan's first recap of the day Madeline went missing. Okay, hold on a minute. Let me see what y'all are saying. Heather said, if the tire was already changed, why did Stephen Stearns have the tire lever in his hands? Nut tightening, perhaps, or as a weapon in case he was challenged. Either or. I don't think he would have thought he would have been challenged. So I don't know if it would have been like if he thought he was challenged. Maybe if he had her body still in the trunk, he might would have been trying to protect, you know, himself. But other than that, but I think that's a good speculation. Carolina said, I agree. Her autopsy report said Maddie died February 25th and not the 26th. I really hope that Stinky will just take the plea deal and save everyone the pain and sorrow. It absolutely did. And that was a big thing for me. That tells me she died that night before 12 a.m. Jackie has been a member for a month. Thank you. Jackie says, often moms given bad care do know what to say. Yep. They've already got it planned out. They know what they need to say, what they need to do, all of that. All right, so this is going to be Stephen Stearns recapping the day Maddie went missing. We get to listen to him lie. We're going to see if we can point out any things that he does when he lies, because we know this is all going to be a lie.
Tuesday, February 27th. 12:05 hours for OCSO case 24-011313 is Detective Hunt. Can you state your full name?
Stephen Stearns.
All right, Stephen. Real quick, you sort of learned that everything you're about to tell me is truth? Yeah, perfect. So you know how I'm at here, right? Mm-hmm. Involving. When is the last time that you
Oh my goodness.
saw?
Oh my goodness.
Yesterday morning.
Okay.
I'm sorry, Basil. Oh my gosh. Stop. I don't know why it's doing that. Did you say something? I sincerely apologize for that.
No, I was muted for a second because I was talking to my dad. He was telling me something, but
okay.
no, I was gonna make fun of Stephen, but I heard a noise too. I don't know what that is.
Yeah, I don't know what that was.
It's like a clipping or buzzing noise.
No. Yeah. I don't know what my computer just did. It went to a whole nother video. Okay, we're gonna not do that right now. Hold on, let me pull YouTube back up and get, I don't know what the crap just happened. My computer decided it was gonna go bonkers.
That's technology for you.
Yeah. My computer said,
leave. Oh, hell no. Boy, what the hell, boy? Bruh. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Bunk.
That's what my computer just did. See, now I pulled YouTube back up and the video we were watching is right here at the bottom like it's supposed to be. Like, my computer
weird.
just said, boy, what the hell, boy? Okay.
Maybe it was Stinky.
It might have been my computer was like, oh, hell no. You ain't putting that thing up here today.
What's that Alex Jones meme? Look at that guy. Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know why the button's like that, but okay.
Sometime between 8:25 and 8:40 is when I dropped her off.
And where were you dropping her to?
Taking her to school.
Got it. And it's my understanding that you dropped her off like a little bit away from school.
Yeah, she sometimes likes to get dropped off
a bit down the road away. She likes to walk over and catch up with her friends, or just not being seen, getting out of a hoopty in front of school.
Okay. And when you say
So 8:20 to 8:40 is a whole 20-minute like time frame that anything could have happened. That's a big gap there.
Yep.
That anything, like I said, anything could have happened. That's firstly suspicious to me. Maddie may have caught Steppen and Jen Soto. Maddie is no longer asleep on me. I can't risk it. Might mean Steppen Stearns invited Jen upstairs for relations, but Maddie didn't know that Steppen Stearns and Jen Soto were still doing it.
I mean, I guess, yeah, it's a possibility.
Yeah, it could be a possibility. Abellis gifted 20 memberships, and I did not even see that. Thank you for that. Let me highlight that. Thank you so much. That was so very sweet of you and supportive. Thank you for that. If you were gifted a membership from Abellis, please tell her thank you. I'll come pick y'all up at Speculation Station.
Ooh, what a ride.
Y'all want to come get on my crazy train? Thank you so much, Abellis. That was so sweet and supportive of you. Thank you. Hey, Patricia Ann. And then lastly, real quick, Jackie said, I think it would be nice if he lived in fear of execution for the rest of his days. He would do okay with a prison sentence as he's used to being looked after and not making any decisions. No doubt.
Yeah, that's true.
Mm-hmm.
We would have to wait for 20 years, sometimes 30.
Yeah, it usually tends to be a while before they actually go through with it.
Right.
Pisces says, I really think that I can't risk it was about possibility of pregnancy since hitting puberty.
Yeah, I can see that too.
Yeah, I don't know if Jen Soto would be like concerned about. I mean, I would think if that was the case, she would have said, "You can't risk it."
Right, but it's like I can't risk it, which is still weird.
Yeah. I don't know if we'll ever know what it means unless they get it out of her in court.
Oh man, I wish I would be the fly on the wall for that.
Me too. I hope that they'll allow cameras.
Yeah, I just hope they don't do the whole Delphi crap. Because I mean, I get that it was the murder of 2 girls, but you can still have a selective, I guess, still viewed court case.
Yep.
you say hoopty, referring to your
car that she's embarrassed to be seen getting out of.
Got it. Okay. Where did you drop her off at? Do you remember approximately?
It was.
You're good.
It was along the stretch of road, kind of where all those communities are, leading up to the overpass, and then the school's on the other side of the overpass. So I dropped her off along that stretch where all those communities are.
Gotcha. Is it like on the sidewalk or near the parking lot?
There's a sidewalk there. And then they've got the church on the other side of the street, and then the overpass, and then the school. So it was maybe no more than a block away.
Okay.
That back feed is going on with him, not me.
Okay.
And I'm going to make sure this is on regular speed, so that we can hear his pauses and everything in a normal. Okay, it is.
He's so annoying.
Carrie B said,
no, you
yeah,
can say
he
it.
is.
I was just gonna say he's so annoying with his stupid little laugh at his own jokes.
Yep, it's funny to him, but nobody else. Carrie B said, I can't risk it equals Potato was the gatekeeper to Maddie, in my opinion. Possibly.
Yeah.
Is the school within eyesight of where you drop her off? Or is
The overpass was definitely within eyesight, and the school was literally just on the other side of the overpass.
Gotcha. So if you were to guesstimate it, would it be like a quarter mile, half mile?
Yeah, maybe like a 5-10 minute walk, depending on your speed.
Okay.
But she also likes the cool morning walks too. She was wearing her hoodie and she was feeling the cold weather, and she likes that.
How common is it of you to drop her off to school in the morning?
It's not common for me to do it most of the time, but I'm up here and I'm helping out as much as I can and working. So she was trying to get as much sleep as possible. And I was doing the school run this morning.
Okay. Do you live here? Do you live somewhere else, or what's that look like?
She was needing to get some sleep, but she had the next 2 days off.
I know.
Doesn't make no damn sense at all. Hey, Zan. Zan said she didn't do much gatekeeping, apparently. No doubt.
Oh, yeah.
I live here, but I split my time between here and my parents' place down south in Northport. They're getting on in years and they need some help.
Got it. Okay. For how long have you lived here with them?
Oh gosh, years now, a couple years maybe now.
Okay. And what does your time splitting look like? Are you here for days, weeks, months, something else?
Weeks at a time, yeah.
And so, I guess, when did you arrive this block of time that you were here?
Day before yesterday, actually.
So, Saturday?
Yeah.
I think. So you got here Saturday.
So he's saying he got there Saturday. He just admitted he got there Saturday. I'll play it a little bit and see if he corrects it, but that's interesting. Brenda, thank you for saying thank you. I'm glad you were gifted a membership. Jenny Jen said, Jen didn't specify what she couldn't risk in that message, so leads me to believe it's an understanding that both of them already know without going further, in my opinion. Yeah, it definitely is. But what is it? I would love to know.
And she just
So
can't
he
seem
said,
to remember.
do what?
I was like, and she just seemingly can't remember.
How convenient.
Saturday night. Got it. It's down in Northport that you actually.
So, yeah, he doesn't correct it. He said Saturday night. I thought the birthday party was Sunday. Am I wrong in that?
No.
Birthday party was Sunday.
So what? This suggests that he probably could have been already there even 2 days, like let's say the Friday.
Yeah, he got there. Here he's saying he got there Saturday night, which is different than anything we've heard so far, or, since this interview. I guess they change it later, but that's interesting.
Because then I'm like, I thought, didn't Chris and Deb say that he left their place? I thought they said he left on the weekend or Sunday or something like that.
I think they did say Sunday, but like Florida Girl just pointed out, Saturday was when the neighbors saw him going into Jen's car, and I thought she was working that day too, right?
Oh.
So I think I think we just figured out that he got there Saturday. Sue Joy, thank you for becoming a member. That was so sweet and supportive of you. I'm gonna come pick you up on my crazy train. We're going to Speculation Station. Basil's holding on for dear life. Poor baby. That is really interesting. I hadn't even realized that he said that in this interview. It's crazy what you catch when you go back and listen to him again.
Well, because then if he said this, then this goes into my idea that if this wasn't premeditated, it still seems to have a hallmark of like he was going to do something that time frame that then and there. That's what it sounds like to me. Even if it was like unintentionally he unalived her, it to me sounds like, well, he planned to be there either her day or several days before her birthday.
Yeah, and they hit him with premeditated too, and that could be why she was upset at her birthday party. If he really was already there, and he had just abused her or something, and she had tried to tell him no, but he wasn't listening or something, that could explain why she was another reason she would have been upset at her birthday party and ill and irritable, because he was there, and God only knows what he was doing. Thomas, thank you for being here. Thomas said maybe she meant she couldn't risk Maddie waking up. It's a possibility.
Yeah.
Oh, bad girl, thank you for feeding Inspector Basil. Inspector BS. Carolina said, remember, though, that the neighbors also said that they couldn't be sure about the days, but that may be possible. Yeah. He's saying it pretty sound-mindedly Saturday in this one, which is interesting.
Split your time. When did you start splitting your time between here and Northport?
A little while ago, my dad, I was working at Disney for a while, and my dad was coming up and getting lunch with me. Started discussing how they're getting on in years and they're going to need some help soon. And they'd really need me to come back down and help them out.
Was that this year or last year?
Last year heading into this year, yeah.
Yeah, so like December.
Yeah, they're already making end of life plans. So.
Oh no, well, sorry to hear that.
Yeah, at least they're getting a plan together now.
So normally, if you do drop her to school in the morning, although it's typically not you, is that typically what she requests is to be dropped? Is that from everyone or just because of your car?
She doesn't mind getting dropped off much. It's the nicer white Sentra over there. But it is very common for her to get dropped off down the road and want to walk up and find her friends and kind of hang out.
So that's weird to me because I know it, like some kids went to the church after school, but I've not heard of kids being dropped off at the church before school. Grandma referenced picking her up at the church after school, but like nobody else references actually dropping them off in the morning to walk from the church.
Right.
Carolina, yeah, Maddie was crying and didn't want to go home. The date was changed to the 26th in August. Is that for the homicide or the CSAM trial? And are you talking about the 26th of February, Heather? Always LB said his parents are really not that old. I hope my children aren't already planning my death. I hope not either.
It's kind of funny to me.
Veronica said, yeah, Yolanda said she didn't want to go home. I bet they regret this to the end of time. Yeah. But if she ever hears this, there's nothing that she did wrong. I mean, she couldn't have known unless she did know, but I highly doubt she did. So even though you might regret actually sending her home, there's no way she could have known.
Does she typically hang out with her friends only at school, or does she have any in the neighborhood here?
She doesn't have any in the neighborhood here, but she does have friends from school that she gets together with on weekends and whatnot.
Okay. So after you dropped her off sometime between 8:25, 8:40 area, do you remember?
I left my phone at home, so I wasn't sure what the...
Gotcha. That's fine. Do you remember what you did after? Or?
Yeah, after I left her, I was watching her in the rearview mirror. I was just driving away. And she looked like she was making her way towards the school like normal. So I went on with my day. Went over to the vape shop nearby. They were not open yet. So I came back home, hung out for a little while with Jen.
And it's already, they're picking up on the fact that he supposedly left his phone at home. That's already sus AF too.
After about an hour, I went to check the vape shop again, and they were open. So I took care of my stuff there, and it became a normal day.
Okay. So just to go through I asked Jennifer the same questions, just to go through everyone's days, but just to go through yours. So you dropped her off at school, and you said you went to the vape shop?
Correct.
They weren't open?
Correct.
Do you remember about what time you got home?
I got home around maybe 10:15.
Gotcha. And was Jennifer here?
Yeah, Jen was here. She had been sleeping in her new work schedule has had her kind of messed up. So she was trying to sleep in as much as possible.
Gotcha. So when you got back around 10,
So Jen got up and left at 9:30. That's another inaccuracy because he says he got back at 10, and I guess they later change it. But she would have been at the blood appointment at that time. She's not sleeping in until 10. So there's another inconsistency. Sandra, thank you for being here, says even just referring to normal is a red flag. It is, because using terms like normal over and over again would tell me that there's something abnormal going on. I would ask your definition of normal, and then it is weird to keep referencing it. Again, that would make me think something abnormal went on that day. If you're making sure to reiterate normal all the time. You want me to think it was normal. What was not normal about it?
You being in that place, for one thing.
Yep.
She was just
waking up.
Yeah. So we hung out for a little while, chit-chatted. Then I went and checked the vape shop again, got my stuff, came home again, hung out for a little while. We talked about maybe, doing some DJ shopping or something after we picked up. And then she wanted to take a nap again. I had a couple errands I needed to run, so that worked out fine. I wanted to check out a couple of the card game shops in the area. One of my trading card games just had a new release, so I just wanted to look at stuff. Ended up getting a flat tire. So that's one of my hoopies on.
Where'd you get a flower? Where'd you get a flat tire?
192. That was hair raising.
And that was when you were out shopping during the day?
Yeah. And that was between the hours of noon and like 2.
Okay.
His voice is so monotone and just like he just tries to seem so normal and like almost boring so that they won't look at him. It's weird to me how monotone his voice is. Heather Wells said, "Go ahead,
I was just gonna say, it fits with that other witness with the tire situation. So he said it was like 12:30 when he saw Stearns.
Yep. And Stearns is saying between 12 and 2. Heather Wells said Spectrum News 13 spoke of an 89-page document with D of D as being the 26th of February. This was on August 29th. So I'm assuming you're telling me the CSAM's going to be the 26th of February. I think that's what we said yesterday too. I haven't seen Maddie's family do a damn thing to seek justice completely for Madeline Soto. All of them are way too quiet. I know if it were my daughter who was wrong, I'd be all over her. Yeah, I don't know.
I get that. Yeah.
Yeah, and I can understand that. I don't know where they're at with it right now. I don't know if they know more than we do, which I'm assuming they do. I don't know if they are just trying to keep things quiet until after trial. I'll be interested to see if they speak after trial at like a presser or something.
Have you heard from Plunder and Strategic where they were saying that they have information that she's staying at the sister Stephanie? Is it Stephanie's place?
Yeah, I heard that. What I don't know what Plunder and Strategic have. If they're saying it, I would say it was accurate. The only thing I heard about that was that somebody said that she was staying at the sister's house and referenced the body cam footage that we have recently got where they searched the sister's house and they look at Juan's van, which I've only heard, I haven't watched, but if you're saying that she's at the sister's house because of the body cam footage, then that was all the way when Madeline went missing when they found Juan's van. So I don't know about that, but the reason I don't know is because I haven't looked into it, because I have a lot of respect for Plunder and Strategic Eyes and all of them, and I think it's that's great that they found that. I personally, I'm not going to look into where she's staying. If she's staying with the sister, that's fine. It's not my business where she's staying. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
There's nothing of value I could gain from that personally, other than knowing her personal information. I'm going to go with the cops and the district attorney know where she's at. And if she is going to get charged, they will get her from where she's at and bring her to court. You know what I mean? Like, I try to kind of stay out of stuff like that.
Right. But I think it does go along with what Caroline was saying. Wow, couldn't even talk. Was saying about what the family situation. Because I still think they're definitely helping her to some degree, but I just don't know like how they truly still feel about Potato, because it's like if you knew your daughter was being abused after all this, well, if you didn't know that your daughter was being abused all this time, but yet it was going on, and now all these weird videos are showing you saying weird things, weird timing and other kind of stuff. So I don't know. It's interesting that she brought that up, and I was just thinking about she could be at her sister's or someone, at least with her family, someone is helping her. I know that, but
Yeah, that would tell us that she's still with the family and that they are helping her. So it would go along with what Caroline said. If she is there, that would mean, yeah, the family is supporting her. And I would have to think they know more than we do, or
yeah,
they're trusting Jen.
yeah.
Love to Hunt said, so I'm wondering if Maddie was actually physically held captive after she got dropped off at home. No one actually saw her except Jeff Soto and Stephen Stearns. I don't think she would be held captive necessarily in her own house, but I do think that she definitely did not approve of something going on, and that's why what happened.
Right. Well, she was. You could say she was trapped
Yeah.
in both like a mental and physical situation. Yeah.
Yeah. And lastly, Jackie said it must be terrible for her sister to look like Jen Soto. I'm sure some people are giving it to her. I hope that she's not being mistaken for Jen.
Oh, I forgot about that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Got it. And then so after
we needed to leave by 2:30 to go get in line and get ready to pick up.
Got it. So you guys went and picked her up together?
That was the goal. Yes, I was going to go with them, but I ended up getting a flat tire. So she left.
You couldn't.
Yeah, I got back literally 10 minutes after she left, apparently.
Got it. And so forgive me, I missed something. I kind of missed it in the middle of there, but you got back home around 10. You hung out with Jen, and then y'all just kind of hung out, and then did you separate to go shopping, or?
She took a nap, and then I went and ran my errands.
Okay, got it. And then around noon or 2 o'clock, is when you got the flat tire, and she was leaving to pick up.
No, so when we hung out first, I'd gone to the vape shop, which was now open, to get my vape, and then came back and hung out more. And then we separated, and I did my errands, and she took a nap.
Got
that
it.
was around noonish when that.
Got it. Okay, I just want to make sure I had that straight. So you went back to the vape shop. Which vape shop?
It's interesting that he references Jen taking a nap again that day. We've not heard that anywhere else, that she came home from the blood appointment and went back to sleep again. So that's interesting.
Right. This is like, okay, Jen, whatever.
Yeah. Michelle said, held captive at 8:30 at night in her own home with the people that she knows. I think that she was taken out of this world by those same people, but I don't think she was held captive. Yeah. I agree.
Where's the shop around here?
E-cigarette online on John Young.
Oh, okay, I didn't know there was one around here.
E-cigarette, e-smoker, e-something online, but I've been going to them for a while. I think I'll remember their name.
And you made it out there about what time is that?
That was probably just after 11 that I finished up there.
Okay. Got it. Now,
be careful driving, MK.
Now, can you remember the day prior to Monday? Do you remember I mean, I guess if anything happened between Saturday night and Monday when you were here that might have sparked wanting to.
She was so happy.
Okay. Because party, right?
And all three of us are together, and she is so happy.
Tell me about Sunday night. Tell me about Sunday into Monday. What you remember?
She just had a party. She was excited.
He's starting to get emotional. Thank you, Thomas.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. This fake emotion.
She was.
Right.
It's okay.
Just talking about crushes. Her singing that was coming out, and you want me to come see her sing? Nothing bad. She was just happy. She was very happy.
What a freaking lie.
Nothing bad. She was just happy, very happy. Again, that's why would there be anything bad with her wanting you to watch her sing? Why do you have to reiterate that there was nothing bad? Because there was something bad?
Mm-hmm. What an idiot.
Mm-hmm. He's already telling on himself.
But it still cracks me up that he can show quote unquote emotion, but Jen can't. It's like, okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Mm-hmm.
He's showing more emotion than she ever did.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone was happy. There's nothing out of the ordinary. I can't remember anything particular that happened. I showed her the movie Sister Act.
Ah, okay.
She was singing so well, I told her she reminded me of the choir. When they got their stuff together and started singing better, I wanted to show her.
Now, with the timeline, when does watching Sister Act fit in? That's never made sense to me. There's not enough time for you to have watched Sister Act. That's never fit into the storyline.
Because didn't Jen, Potato said that they were in her room, what was it, like 10 or 11, something like that?
Uh-huh.
So then
They got
it was
there.
like,
Go ahead.
oh yeah, I was like, well, so when exactly did they watch that movie? Because that's like at least maybe 2-ish hour movie.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yep. And if she got home at 8:30, he got there between 9:30. She does her nighttime routine, and she's upstairs by 10:30 when Jen gets there. That's not enough time to have watched that movie.
Right. And then
Unless they
cry
watched
about it.
unless they watched it upstairs while they were in the room together, and that would mean Jen Soto didn't sit down and watch it with them like they talked about.
Right. Yeah. And then cry. Be emotional about Sister Act. I'm like, I would just laugh to myself, like, oh, stinky. Oh, stinky.
Right. And Jenny Jen said, plus the hour shower they said Maddie would take. Right. It's not enough time. Another lie.
Nope.
Gotcha. So Sunday night, how do you decide, like, who's going to get her ready for school in the morning and everything?
I take her to school in the morning so she can sleep in as much as possible.
Okay.
So I agreed. I've done the school run a few times before. It's not usually my forte, but I don't mind helping.
And so Jennifer shared with me, typically you normally sleep in the upstairs guest bedroom.
Yeah.
And then she will sleep together in her own bedroom. But Sunday, so Jen could get better sleep. She said she's just sent you both upstairs, correct? Gotcha. Okay.
She sent them. I mean, again, that's just weird to me. They're sending them both upstairs. Pisces said it may have been a movie they watched on another night, not necessarily that night, but I think he references it as being that night. I'm not sure. Or if he came up on Saturday, maybe they watched it Saturday night, but everywhere we've heard, it's always been Sunday he came up. Sorry, hold on.
No, I was just going on the chat too.
Do you remember about what time you went to bed and woke up?
What did you say, love?
Oh, I was just saying, I'm going over the chat, just like smiling and agreeing with what people are saying.
Yeah. Caroline said exactly, allegedly embezzled. Absolutely not enough time to watch Sister Act. I agree. I do too. I definitely don't think that. I mean, I
Yeah,
think, again, it's just another story.
it's a longer ish kind of movie to watch anyway.
Right. But why is Jen Soto also lying about that? Because if there's not enough time for them to both watch it, why does Jen Soto make sure to talk about it as well?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, thank you for the super chat, honey. Mallory said I can't find memberships. My gift expired, and the dollar symbol only has super chat options. Are you on iPhone? If you're on iPhone, it might be a different link. I think you have to do it like you have to go through your Google app on your phone and go into YouTube and do it that way. Rubber Ramada says, close out the chat if you're on your phone and you can click the join button. Yeah, if you go to my YouTube page, you can click join there, sweetheart, if that's what you want to do. And I appreciate you, and I'm sorry that I missed your chat if you had asked me earlier. I appreciate the support. Gina Marie, thank you for being here. Gina Marie said, Jen Soto sending her teenage daughter upstairs to sleep with a grown man is a crime. I mean, in any logical person's mind, but is it actually a crime through the law? I don't think so, unfortunately.
There would be like, unless anything inappropriate was happening, then legally you can't do it. It's still weird, of course.
Yeah, it's weird. We were talking about that, me and Hio, last night. It's weird, but legally, unless you can prove that Jen Soto factually knew that that Madeline was being abused, or that he was even gonna abuse Madeline that night, there's nothing you can do. And she's saying she didn't know, so. Okay. Okay, so you said child endangerment. I explained it to her like this. Like, let's say that you're married to your husband, and for whatever reason, your 12-year-old child still sleeps in the bed with you. And this has been your husband, the child's stepfather, since she was like 6 or 7. And you're not aware that he's abusing her, and I don't know, you are cleaning up the kitchen or whatever, and you send her to take a nap with your husband, who's actually factually not abusing the child, then it's not a charge, right? Because some people would do it. I mean, it is old, it is weird to all of us. I wouldn't send my 12-year-old child to go lay down in a bed with no adult, but if you play the story out like she says, and if she didn't factually know, I don't even know that you could get her for child endangerment on that specifically. There's probably other things you could. Okay.
Bed probably 11, quarter after. Wound up after her party. And we were getting up really, really early so we could make good time getting out of the door. So we got up around 7.
Yeah, y'all left pretty early.
Yeah.
Okay. Did you see Jen at all in the morning? Or was she still asleep?
Yeah, I saw her a couple times. I was in and out of her room.
Yeah, the only time in this man's life he's ever got up early. He can't even get up early to go to work.
This detective is making me laugh, because it's just like his reaction is like, right, so you woke up that early to take her to school because
Yeah, I like this officer too.
Talking to her.
Got it. Okay. And that was before you left around, what time did you leave? About 8:30?
No, earlier than that. We made such good time. I mean, we were so impressed. We made such good time getting out the door. I mean, we were probably out by 7:30, 7:45.
Okay.
I just wanted to get McDonald's breakfast. We'd been talking about it anyway. She ended up not wanting it after all.
Got it. Any trouble
Mm-hmm.
at all recently at home?
No.
He goes again. I mean, it's just like a script every time. He references such good time. She wanted McDonald's, but ended up not wanting it after all. That he always says the exact same sentence.
Yeah,
It's
that'd be
so
so.
scripted.
I can't see myself saying something like, "Oh, I totally made it on time, and we woke up real early, and she wanted to go to well, I want to go to McDonald's, but she kind of wanted to go, and I'm like, sure,
Yeah. Yep.
Not recently.
No arguments that you can remember between her and you? Anything that's upset her?
Not for a while.
When was the last time?
Maybe a month. Typical, mood swing stuff. She has some pretty bad PMS when she gets it, and being a teenager on top of it doesn't help.
Vero Martin, thank you for being here, says the Sister Act story in their mind would make sense to police to think she was relaxed and happy as he wants the police to believe. It's a script. I agree. Hey, Lily Sunshine. Yeah. Tammy Wren, I'm with you, says it's like in his mind he's convinced himself that's what really happened. Yep.
I know all about it. Now you said I think you said she left her phone, right?
Yeah.
Where did she leave her phone at?
She left it in her room. She's ADHD. So am I, for that matter.
Oh, yeah,
So
you
is
left your
Mom.
phone too, huh?
Yeah. So we try to be on top of her about that, not forgetting things, but we're also a bit forgetful.
Yeah. The cop is catching on already. He's like, yeah, you left your phone. She left her phone. Now she's missing.
That just made me laugh. It's like, really? He's like, oh, really? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I like it. I like the way he's questioning him.
And
How
then, of course,
he's not buying any of it.
right. And then Stinky's like, oh, he'll totally buy this. Yeah.
Yeah, thinking he's just buying it like everybody else that he's ever manipulated in his whole entire life. They're not listening to your bullshit, dude. You can't manipulate them.
Got it.
They do.
But yeah, it's not uncommon for her to forget everything.
She leave it in her room or
she
in
left
the bedroom?
it in her room. She must have been grabbing her shoes or a hoodie or something and set it down, and that's just how it goes.
Okay. Got it. Gotcha. Is it typical of her, I guess, to forget things like that?
Yeah, very, very typical.
Cool. Got it. All right, man. Well, I mean, you know her better than I do. Is there anything you can think of that, as someone who doesn't know her, that I might be missing out on here? Like somewhere she may like to be, or somewhere she.
Everything that everywhere that we think she could possibly be, we've checked. I mean, literally, the whole family is just.
So that the deputies found the video from the church last night of her in the parking lot.
We heard that they saw someone.
So can you think of a reason that she might have gone and waited in that church that's across the street for a couple minutes before she would have headed back off to school?
No. I mean, she had time to kill, so I don't know.
Again, with the words, she had time to kill, so I don't know.
Yeah, that's.
That girl said nothing to say about the poor child. Nothing good to say.
I
Yeah.
know.
And he slips up and is like, nothing bad happened. He slips up so many times, and I'm glad like the cops picked up on it out the gate, it sounds like.
Yeah, like instantly. Well, because they probably dealt with so many cases like this. It was like, if a child does go missing, it's usually the closest people. Usually.
Mercedes says, what child in the world turns down McDonald's? They're both imbeciles. Right.
I agree with that.
I don't know of a child that turns down McDonald's. I never did.
It's like, oh, get a toy. Yeah, you get a toy.
My neighbor gets McDonald's Happy Meals all the time, and she brings the kids the toys. Sometimes if they got cool toys, I'll buy just the toy. Like nobody turns
Mhm.
down McDonald's, not even adults. What are you talking about?
Uh-huh.
She said she was going to hang out and find her friends, but when I left her, she was on the other side of the street, rummaging through her backpack and just kind of moving towards the school area. So it looked normal.
What do you think she was looking for?
I assumed she was just looking for some headphones or something for her walk, but she might have been looking for her actual phone.
Got it. Okay. Yeah, I mean that's all I can really think of at the moment. I think I have a phone number for you. I tried calling you earlier, but you might have just been asleep.
Yeah. So sorry.
No, it's okay. 256-1832.
That's correct.
Gotcha. What's your address when you stay down south?
When I'm down south, it's
Of course, he's giving parents' address. Oh, it's skipping to the next video.
That's my parents' house. Though.
Oh, never mind.
Like being there if I can help it.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's nice of you to help them out. So.
Yeah, it's just a stressful environment.
I didn't realize that I had that picture from the body cam, and the way it was on my screen, it looked like it was going to the body cam footage. Look at him here, though. Even in this picture, he's so dark. I mean, he just like reeks an evil presence. And Jen looks scared as crap in that picture.
She does. Like a little chihuahua.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Well, that kind of. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to. I was gonna say. She looks like the theory that I was hearing not too long about. It could have been her that was near the church. I mean, she looked like a little kid wearing that outfit too, like a teenager at least.
Yeah, I've always questioned if it was her at the church. I always questioned if she went there and like walked across and sat down just to make it look like Maddie had been there wearing the same clothes. It's weird that somebody walked across wearing the exact same thing that Maddie did. And the video was grainy, so you couldn't really tell. But yeah.
Yep.
I've always found that weird. Jenny Jen said, do you think that's why later on that night they tried to make it seem as if she ran away? Yeah, I mean, it's a possibility for sure.
That was the script, pretty much, that they were trying to imply that she ran away. Yeah.
Yeah, because they're immediately talking about trafficking and things like that. And I'm sorry, but if your child has run away, the last thing you want to think about is trafficking. Like, of course, it's going to be in the back of your mind, but you're not going to want to think. I mean, you're damn sure not going to say it out loud, I wouldn't think.
Well, but yeah, I know Potato did.
Yeah. Veronica said, Potato said Maddie didn't know where she lived, nor her friends. Had nighttime routine with help as well as morning routine. She's 13, not 3. You're a terrible mother, plus gave her to a pedo dumbass.
Yeah. Oh, Veronica, you got it right.
Yeah, they treat her like she's 3. They really did in some aspects, but then expect her to be a grown-ass adult in other aspects. It's just confusing.
Yeah.
And I'm talking about Jen, not what Stephen was doing.
Oh, yeah.
Poodles, deaf old people.
So after you dropped time at around 8:20 or so, you didn't to get to the vape shop, do you have to like swing back around at all to where the school area is? Is there any chance she saw your car or something and was flagging you down? Or
No, I basically just turned around right there.
okay, so there's no chance she would have like seen you from that church parking lot when you were swinging back around to the vape shop?
I would have already been gone at that point.
Okay, got it. Yeah, I mean, at this point, I'm just trying to figure out, what might have cost her to go there and then what cost her to leave. Because I think she did stay there till about 8:50, just before school starts. When does school start? 9:30?
9:15, I think, is the latest that they should be there by. I think it starts around 9:20 officially.
Gotcha. Is she familiar with that parking lot?
Carrie B said immediately after Potato was told about the CSAM, Potato says, but the church video, I believe
Yeah.
she dressed as Maddie.
I mean, they were like the same
think,
height and build. Yeah.
yeah, I really think she did. I really do. I don't think that would ever be proven. Like the police said that the video was too grainy, but I really think she did too. And like Jenny Jen said, that would go further with the running away thing. I think she knew.
God,
I really do.
you can say it's insane, which it is, but I would not be shocked that, and I've heard things like criminals have done something similar to that. So it's just wow, your own daughter, you would do that to go to that
Yeah.
kind of length. Mm-hmm.
Yep. It's sad.
It truly is.
Not at all. Is that somewhere she hangs
Yeah, I
out?
mean,
Or
a lot of the kids will sort of rendezvous there before heading into school.
Gotcha. Do you recall seeing any other kids walking in the area when you were dropping her off?
We were earlier than usual.
It goes again.
She was confident it was fine. She was just going to hang out and wait for her friends.
Okay. Did she mention that to you at all? Or
Yeah,
did she say anything?
I asked her, because we were a little early. We still had some time to go. I said, "You want me to wait with you?" She said, "No, just drop me right here. I'm going to walk up and find my friends."
You could hear the irritation in his voice when he was like, yeah, like, because you're not believing my narrative. You're not eating
Right.
this line of bullshit I'm feeding you. So he got a little
Right.
irritated when he was like, yeah, she said that.
Mm-hmm.
Mercedes said the child is known for always being sleepy. That's a consistent theme almost everybody mentions. So they decide to drop her off in some lot over an hour before school starts. Yeah, don't make sense.
Ding, ding, ding. Yep.
Toxic said the whole case is disgusting inside. That poor child. Mercedes, that was a good point that you pointed out. And I agree, Toxic. Carolina said, Stern, his dad said to Deb, do we really know Stephen? You would think he did.
Yeah, that's pretty damning coming from your own parents, too.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay.
Which is something that she normally does anyway. It wasn't out of the ordinary. I agreed to it. Seemed like she was making her way towards the school. And I went on with my day.
All right. Well, I appreciate you talking to me. I'm going to go ahead and end this. 12-23 hours.
Okay. So that was, I think, 12:23. I don't know if it was the next day or in the morning. That was the first recap Stephen did of the night Madeline went missing. Now we're going to play Jen's recap of the night Madeline went missing. Mallory, I'm so glad that you got. What were you saying?
I was like, here we go with Potato Story.
Yep. We're going to listen to her recount that night. Mallory, I'm so glad that you were able to figure out the membership thing. I'll come pick you up on the crazy train. Hold on just a minute. Thank you, Mallory, so much. I really appreciate that support. That's so awesome of you. I've been trying to make sure that I put out lots of members content. There's Basil's there and just little fun things that I do. I actually got some stuff from Amazon I'm going to post on there hopefully later today or tomorrow, depending on when I can get that video done I need to get out for you guys. And like link it so you guys can get some. I got Basil this scratch pad that looks like a fried egg. It's so cute. It's actually for cat.
I was about to say, I keep looking at him down the bottom. His little nose is going up and down. I'm like, oh gosh, that is pretty cute.
Oh yeah, that's Inspector BS. Basil is the one that's in the emojis. Basil is a little different. But if you become a member, I put videos up of him all the time.
I'll get to that.
Oh yeah, I'm not telling you have to. I just like that's where I put that stuff because it's not really related to true crime, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
sorry.
Hold on.
Okay, so you needed.
Okay, thank you. So this is going to be Jen recapping the night that Maddie went missing.
Right. I was just gonna say, to look at them, they're like the same height, facial structure, similar to a degree and everything. Yeah, I can see her dressing up in an outfit that looks like Maddie.
Yep. With a hoodie on, put the hood over her face. Yep. Yeah, here's the real.
Needed some good sleep. So was it about 11 o'clock?
Yeah. I sent them upstairs and I went to bed.
Okay. And that was about 11?
Yeah.
And do you guys normally all sleep together? Because I know you said that she sleeps in your room with you typically, right?
She sleeps with me typically. Typically when he comes into town, because he lives with his parents in Northport, Florida.
Mm-hmm.
When he comes to town, he'll sleep in the guest bedroom.
Okay. And Stefan.
So it already seems that the officer's picking up on the weirdness, because he's like, number one, you all sleep in the bed together. Number two, you got people that are broken up. Like you're broken up with this man, but he's coming and staying in your guest bedroom. Like that's weird too. And it also makes.
Yeah, I was
Go
just
ahead,
saying, she was just trying to explain it off in a weird way too.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it's scripted. It is what it seems to me. And she, I done forgot what I was gonna say. I'll remember in a minute. Oh, yeah, the text. She's stating that Maddie can't sleep with her anymore. I can't risk it. That I don't know why. Like I know that it was said, but it just kind of clicked to me that if Maddie's sleeping in the bed with you, why are we sending that text all the way back then? Like I don't know why that's clicking with me so heavy today. But it doesn't make any sense. Like, where else was she sleeping the whole time? I have to assume with Stefan, and that's what the cops are going to assume as well, because, you say she has to be with somebody every night. Well, where's she sleeping when she's not sleeping with you, since she can't sleep with you because you can't risk it anymore?
Mm-hmm. And you said that she never sleeps with a roommate, so who else does she sleep with?
Right. Tammy said, do we know if Maddie knew Stefan was going there Sunday night? And if so, did she ask not to go home? We know that she called him from the birthday party, and now that you bring that up, that could be why she was crying, because she knew he was coming. But Grandma wouldn't have known that. I don't know if she would have told her. I'm assuming she didn't. Hey, Brenda and Georgia Sky, good to see you both. Georgia said it makes absolutely no sense for the two of them to sleep on a single bed upstairs while Potato sleeps alone in a king size. Yeah, I think it might have been a queen bed, but it was still, or a full at least. But it's still, it made no sense.
Mm-hmm.
Regardless of how you say it, it made no sense for her to be sleeping with a grown ass man that's not even having relations with you anymore. I can't. I'll never.
Fawn is the one you're referring to, right?
Yeah, Stefan's room.
Stefan, how often does he stay here?
Oh, he moved away back in December, so I'm gonna say he's visited at least 2 to 3 times since then.
The long pauses when we're calling information you should know off the top of your head, and you say he moved away in December, so I'm gonna say no. I don't need you to say. I need you to tell me the truth. I don't know. I don't care what you want to say. You need to say the truth.
It's not that hard to be like, oh, this is when I broke up with someone. It really is not that hard,
right?
If you didn't even care about them,
right? And how many times they've come back? It's not that hard. A lot. Then just say a lot. He comes like maybe once a week. I mean, it just kills me that. Carrie B said she explained it like simple math. The 3 of us slept in the bed, which is fine to her. Then we just subtracted 1 potato, so it's still fine. See? Yeah.
I agree with you, Carrie. Potato logic is so fascinating.
It is. Hey, Meandering. Meandering said Grandma wouldn't know, but should have tried to find out while she was crying. Yeah, as a grandma, if you didn't know, you might think she was crying because she didn't want to go home and deal with her mom, because I know she knew there was hostility between Jen and Maddie, so she could have thought it was something like that.
Okay. Why did he move away?
He was offered a better, well, his dad had offered him a job, but it fell through.
Oh.
So
okay.
now we're trying to get him back here.
And he just visits.
Yeah.
When he visits, does he stay for like hours, days, weeks?
I would say days.
His job fell through down here where he was living and paying rent, and so he's moving back when he doesn't have a job and he can't pay rent. Like, he was staying, his job, he moved away and stayed with his dad because his dad offered him a job. The job fell through, so he's going to move back here where he has to pay rent, and he's got no physical biological ties to you. Like, how does that make sense?
Potato logic.
I mean, at the end of the day,
It makes sense to potatoes.
absolutely.
This time we had planned on him staying a whole week because I was going through training at work. So I wanted him to be here to help me with the dog, help me with the training.
Okay, so this time he was planning to stay for a week. How long has he been here? Or when did he arrive, rather, this time?
So, again, I mean, he's only been there a couple of days. It's been a couple of days since he arrived. Why are you having such a time recalling it? Because you're trying to remember the script? And this is one of the only times I've ever heard her say to help with the dog. She always says to help with Maddie.
Right.
She doesn't say to help with Maddie in this one. She says to help with the dog specifically.
I mean, Maddie was the one that sounded like she would take the dog out, from what the neighbors would say. They see her most of the time with the dog.
Exactly. Stefan doesn't mess with the dog. He doesn't take care of the dog. He was trying to put the leash supposedly on the dog that morning, and it was weird because he doesn't mess with the dog. So why is he coming down to help with the dog?
Ugh, potato, please. You're hurting my brain, potato.
Pisces said, I would have made every excuse to keep her in my home and to keep her safe. I see myself as a little girl in her and the red flags, and I'm a stranger. No wonder her mother drugged herself. Yeah.
Yeah.
I see a lot of red flags too.
Yeah, we all would try our best to help her, or at least assist in some way.
Yeah, I think that's what's so fast, not necessarily fascinating, but heartbreaking about this case is that we all see this child and hear this story, and all of the signs were there, and it's hard for us to understand how all these signs were so prevalent and so like right in your face, and you still didn't see anything. And then, why is this lady not in jail already? It's hard for any of us to understand, and we feel like Maddie's not getting the justice that she deserves.
Mm-hmm.
Boomer said, did Jen's family know Stefan was coming over Sunday evening? Supposedly he might have come Saturday, but yeah, I think the sister knew that Stefan was coming to stay with Maddie. So I would assume the grandma would have known too, because the sister was at the birthday party.
She would have told. I think the sister would definitely told the mom.
Yeah, so I would assume that she did, but you know what assuming does. So I mean, but I would speculate that they knew.
Mm-hmm.
Jenny Jen said she wanted her ex-boyfriend, who was not a good partner, provider, nor were they having relations, to move back in with her permanently. Right. Make it make sense. The math ain't mathin'.
Well, you see, he would help me with the dog and Maddie.
I can't remember if
Sorry,
he arrived
love.
Saturday or
I'm so
Sunday
sorry.
morning.
Hold on.
Oh, it's fine. I was just doing
I'm
a really
so sorry.
bad.
No, you were doing a good impression of her, and I hate that my computer decided to play and interrupt you. I am so sorry. That was
It's
a good
all
impression.
Good. Yeah.
I mean,
it's all the stammering and stuttering that she does.
Yeah, it just doesn't it doesn't equate. It doesn't add up. I think there was a lot of hostility between Jen and her mom when she was younger, generational, it seems to me, said Florida Girl. Yeah, they state that. Hey, Chrissy knows it all.
Definitely. Mm-hmm.
Chris Stearns says Stephen left Sunday. He filled the car with gas for him. Yeah, it's weird to me because Stephen, in the interview we just heard, referenced going down there Saturday.
Chris could be lying.
He could, but I don't know what his end goal would be. But, you know, mommy's best friend per the court document, so maybe they are helping him.
Right. And then there's also the thumb drive situation that some people believe that Chris Stearns is involved in that.
Really? What's the theory behind that?
They think that I'm trying to remember who I was hearing it from too, that he didn't know specifically what Stinky had, but felt like something was very suspicious and supposedly was just trying to help him out with the thumb drive situation.
Right. I mean, I think that's the story we were told. What would the story be if Chris Stearns was involved in it?
The only thing I could think of would be either, I don't know if Stefan Stinky told him exactly what happened, but probably was saying, I did something bad or I'm panicking and I need you to help me out with something, Dad. And of course, his parents were the type where they would help, but it depends on, I guess, what particular level of how much they would help.
Yeah, the only thing I could think that would say that his dad was involved would be if it was his dad's thumb drive, because even if Stephen said, I need you to help me out with something and gave him the thumb drive, he turned the thumb drive over to police. Like, if he was involved somehow, I would think he would hide it and not ever give it to him, which is...
Yeah, I know. But with this family of his, it's, well, both their family. Okay. Potato's family, I won't say is weird to a certain degree. It's just, I guess they're used to dealing with her antics. But I know they were concerned with the whole situation with Maddie. But with Stern's family, it's just like they're bizarre. At least between him and his mom and dad. And then I don't know about the older brother. He wasn't really in the picture that much, it sounds like. So but it's just, the Sterns are just very bizarre in their own way too.
Yeah, they are weird. The hard drive thing, yeah, I don't know if that was ever located. I think it was later in April, but yeah, the hard drive, I guess, could be how Stearns was involved if he destroyed the hard drive. Carolina said, I'm just happy Stinky didn't physically or mentally abuse Potato's nieces. At least I hope he hadn't. Yeah, I'm glad he didn't either. I don't think that the aunt would have let him around them, though, honestly. And then Sue Joy said, Chris Stearns filled the tank on Monday. Stephen Stearns had put $20 of gas in per the gas station clerk interview. I think it was Stephen who put the 20 in of gas on Monday, but yeah. If you think about the drive from down there where they live at, I think it's like 3 hours one way or either an hour and a half. So it would take, him driving there and then meandering all day took a whole tank of gas. So yeah, he would have had to put some in by Monday, I would think. All right. Oh my goodness. Sorry, I couldn't see my mouse. Hey, Michelle. Or bye, Michelle. Have a good day.
Okay, that's fine. Sometime this weekend.
Yeah.
So that was last night around 11. And so about what time did you hear her on Monday morning?
I heard everyone getting ready around, I'm going to say 7:30, 8 o'clock.
And was it just Steph? Who else lives there?
I have roommates.
Okay.
I have Angelica Negro. There's one roommate, and then...
So in this one, she is saying, I heard her. She didn't say I saw her, which is important because one of her first statements states that she saw her. And yeah, I found a document that points that out, like kind of the inconsistencies. It'll be in the video I put out. Mercedes said the thumb drive could actually belong to Chris. What parent voluntarily throws their child under the bus? Chris wants to keep the attention on Stefan because he has his own shady activities. It's a possible speculation.
Yeah. It's creepier if you think about it like that, too.
Yeah. Hey, Rose Thorne. Rose Thorne said, why did Chris rush to drive 3 hours, 12 to 3 a.m.? Something is not right. Yeah, just because.
That's the weird thing. Like, he never really explained, in my personal opinion, why he did all that, too.
Yeah. He stated Stefan told him he needed an ally in the jail call. But, I mean, that is weird to drive that. I mean, I guess if they called and they were like, forensics is taking over the house and we don't have anywhere to stay. But I would think that you would just call the hotel and pay for it, not drive all the way there.
And also, even with that, I would think him and Deb would have been starting to be concerned if forensics is like looking over the place. He's a former cop. Wouldn't he know? They start looking at the, yeah. To me, there's a lot more, I think, with the dad. I don't know about the mom per se, but to me, it sounds like there's a lot more with the dad.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense. It's a very possible speculation. Zan said, and how is she hearing so much when she's always knocked out and medicated? Another good point.
Yeah.
I got 2 more. Why did Potato let Stinky drive her car at 4 a.m. from the hotel? He told her he had to get rid of CSAM on his phone. In my opinion, she never let him drive her car. Yeah, she said she didn't like it. But she all of a sudden let him drive when he had a donut on the car, and she didn't want him to drive because of insurance. I mean, if he's driving around getting donuts, getting flat tires and donuts, it seems like he could be more of a risk than normal to your insurance. And you're just letting him drive around at 4 o'clock in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
And then lastly, Angela said Jen didn't hear when someone was breaking into her car, but she heard her in her sleep, people getting ready that morning. Yeah, she also heard Stefan come downstairs to pee and all that. But like you said, the roommate couldn't wake her up when people were breaking into her car.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-mm. Potato logic.
There we go.
Natalie Rosedero.
Okay. And you just heard all of them, or did you hear anyone specific?
No, I just heard, if anything, Stefan came and woke me up accidentally because he was trying to let the dog out.
Mm-hmm.
And the dog gets really nervous sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
I was trying to help him with that, get him on his leash. But he got him situated and took him for a walk.
Okay. Did you hear around 7 or 8?
I heard noises in the kitchen, but I'm not sure,
Not sure who it was exactly.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
It could have been any of the roommates.
But you didn't see her leave Monday morning. Were you still in bed or still in your room?
I was still asleep, yeah.
Gotcha. What time does she normally leave for school?
We usually leave around 8:50 at the latest.
Okay. What time does she have to be to school by?
9:28 is when school starts.
Gotcha. And so I think you had said the previous night, you and Stefan had agreed that he was going to get and take her in the morning? Okay.
And they were going to stop.
They were going to stop at McDonald's, which was planned the night before. Why was it planned the night before for them to stop at McDonald's? Because we know that was the excuse to get her body out of the house. Somebody please tell me that. Zan said, why didn't Chris say, come sleep here? They visited before and stayed there. They absolutely did when Maddie slept in the bed with Deb. Another great point. Rio, good to see you. That's why Jennifer knew that comment. Can't risk it anymore. Yeah. Sorry, Bazard, if I booted you. I don't know what happened.
No, it was on my end. Is like there's like you were saying, people working on power poles and stuff like that. Some people are doing stuff outside my place too. So they had the power pole acted up or something. Yeah.
Yeah, it's back feeding again. Well, we don't got much more to go over except for this interview, so hopefully it'll stop in a minute.
Mm-hmm.
because it's like echoing my voice. Tammy Wren said they said even the dog has issues. I just can't with these two. It's sickening. Yeah. Bella said McDonald's was bullshit. Try to go out and come back in because it's back to really bad again.
Okay. Well, actually, I'll just head out, but I'll still be in the chat.
Okay, love. Well, I appreciate you coming up today and giving us your input. You're really awesome, and I appreciate you so much.
I appreciate that, and see you guys in chat.
All right, thank you.
Bye.
Bye. Boomer said, "Why does she have to think so much as a mom? She should know these things off the top of her head." I mean, I think that's where all of us are with this. Like, what the hell's going on, ma'am? Stop it.
McDonald's and get breakfast, but she changed her mind last minute and did not want McDonald's.
Okay, when'd you find that out?
When did I find that out? When Stefan called me around 10:18 in the morning, I had stepped out to go get blood work done, and he had just let me know that he just got back home from running a few errands, and that.
Okay, now I did it backwards. The cops talked to her first, this officer that interviewed them, and then immediately after, he talks to Stefan. Okay, Jen states that Stefan called her at 10:18 because he got back home and got to his phone and called her and let her know that he was there, and she was out at her blood appointment. And then Stefan immediately in the car with the officer immediately after this interview states that he got home at 10 o'clock and Jen was there and he saw her. So automatically the cop picked up off the bat that somebody's lying, because that's one inaccuracy we found between the two in their statement so far. Lori said, watch Stern's interview. He said Jen told him the dog barking woke her up and she was going to take the dog out. We'll have to watch that interview again and see what we can pick up. Bazard said, y'all in chat are amazing with the comments and perspectives. Yes, all of you are. Y'all all, I love my speculating family here. I love y'all all so much. Y'all come up with so many possibilities and things that could have happened and all that. I love reading your comments. It always makes my day.
That I asked, did you guys ever just stop at McDonald's? And he said no. She changed her mind. He tried convincing her a few times, but she did not want McDonald's anymore.
What time did you leave the house yesterday in the morning? Or what time did you step out, rather?
I'm going to say around 9:30.
Had Stefan returned at all?
No.
So you were there from, just so I have my times kind of right, so you woke up around...
Love to Hunt said, Jen Soto, hold on, I apologize. Jen Soto texts Chris to get Stephen Stearns an attorney. Why? Well, because their lies will come out. Deb will learn everything. Again, it's a possible speculation. That's going with the speculation that Chris Stearns knew more than we think he did. I mean, it's a possibility. I don't think I could even get the words out. Oh no, always LB. I hope you're okay, love.
Around 7 or 8, you saw Stefan, because you helped him with the dog, because he was letting the dog out, right?
Yeah.
And then did you go back to sleep, or were you just kind of in the room?
I laid back down and went back to sleep.
Okay. And then, do you remember what time you woke up after that?
I believe I set my alarm for 9 a.m.
Gotcha. So it would have been around 9 a.m. that you woke up. And in that time, you didn't see Stefan return at all? Okay. You left around 9:30, and then Stefan called you around 10 to say he got home?
Yeah.
Cool. Got it. Okay. Did he say anything else aside from she didn't want to go to McDonald's?
About her, no. About his morning, yes. He had tried going to the vape shop when it opened right after he dropped her off from school and waited, but they never opened on time. So he came back, hung out a little bit. He came home around 10 and then went back out eventually to the vape store to go get some vape stuff.
So he left after 10. What time did you get back home for the day?
Let me check something. I want to check what time my blood work appointment is at.
So again, with the
give you more of an accurate time.
Yeah.
With the heavy sighs, and it's like, I mean, it's just like, to me, she's sighing because she knows she has to stick to the script, and it's hard for her to stick to the script. So when they ask her a silly question like, when did you get back that morning? She's still sighing. She's still bothered.
Okay, so my appointment was at 10:15 and it took them 45 minutes to see me. So I didn't get home until 11:15, 11:30.
Mm-hmm. And was Stefan back at that point in time?
I'm going to say yes.
Okay.
Okay.
I can't remember.
And then what if
Ma'am, when you walked in your door, you either saw this man there or you did not. What do you mean I'm going to say yes? Ma'am, did you physically lay eyes upon this person in your house when you entered the door or not? It's not hard. Like, it's so irritating. Y'all have a few good comments I'm going to read out. Lori said, a counselor should be trained to probe and not prying or asking direct questions way. There's ways to get around this by going about it in a subtle way, but not invading. Yeah, they have to be careful because of like red tape and bureaucrats at the school. Now, a counselor that you actually pay for could probably pry a little bit more. Vegan, thank you for being here. Vegan says, is Jen wearing that big hoodie to cover marks on her arm from a struggle with Maddie? I wonder. It's a possibility. I do know that Stefan had scratches on his hands. There was blood under Maddie's fingernails that did have different DNA than hers. And also there was DNA, but not blood on her chest from somebody else. And she had blood in her mouth and on her neck is what I can remember off the top of my hand. And on her hands, there was blood and DNA from somebody else. So she's considering the fact that her cause of death was strangulation, I would say she fought. Always LB said, in my opinion, if Jen didn't know what happened, she would have told police immediately. My boyfriend said he took her to school. Her phone is still here and now she's missing. Question him. I think that's where a lot of people would be. Why are you all of a sudden out the gate just worried about him being questioned or looked at? Is it because you know that he's going to be questioned or looked at and you want to point him in a different direction? Did Maddie not need to use the bathroom before school for the toilet and brush her teeth? That's a good point because she would have supposed to have been going in Jen's bathroom. Like, you didn't heard that. You heard Stefan pee, but you never referenced Maddie. Great point, Vegan. Jackie said, I think this woman is seriously medicated. CPS could have put some input into the welfare of a child whose mom had bipolar and was a single parent with sole custody. Well, to be fair, I mean, there's a lot of single parents out here with bipolar and having sole custody that don't do things like this. Like I said, I don't fault anyone, except that I do have questions about what she said at the counselor's office. Specifically, this hurts. I think somebody should have been called at that point. Other than that, I mean, if you just think statistically how many single mothers are out here with sole custody that have bipolar, anxiety, all of that. Even let's go as far as to say schizophrenia, right? With the right medication, you're a productive member of society. So I don't think that should have got, CPS involved necessarily. Now, the comment about this hurts, maybe. I think so.
the day look like after that? It's fine.
So I did my blood work, then I came back, and then I just waited. I waited for the rest of the day until 2:30 to leave.
How are you so upbeat?
Well, I wait in the car line, so I'm first in line to pick her up.
Yeah, that car line can be vicious. So you left approximately 2:30.
Yeah.
And pickups around 4, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, when you got there at 4, then what happened?
I waited in the car line for about 10 minutes, and she never came out. So I thought maybe I missed her. I couldn't remember if I told her I was picking her up from school that day or if she had to walk to the office.
Okay.
So I went to the office to see if she made it. She never did. I drove around a little bit.
She immediately goes to grandma's office instead of going into school to see if she stayed behind out of class, to see if she was in the restroom, to see if maybe she got in trouble and the principal needed to talk to her. Anything could have happened. Why are we immediately going to grandma's office? Why not go in the school and call grandma's office? That would have made more sense to me because, you know, you could call grandma and say, is she there? You can go in the office and make sure she wasn't in the bathroom or something, you know, having to stay after school for whatever reason. And then when you go in the office at the school and find out that you would have found out immediately that she wasn't there that day instead of driving around and wasting like an hour and an hour and a half actually until you text the teacher and found out she wasn't there that day. I couldn't understand that either, so.
Okay.
I drove around a little bit, looking for her. I went back to the school. The school was closed at this point. I wanted to speak to somebody at the office to see if anybody could tell me if she had been there. I think at this point I had called, before I went to the school, I actually called her best friend and I said, with you, I can't find her. She didn't walk to the office and she wasn't at school when I went to pick her up. She said she never made it. She's it's a first or second period. And I'm like, what do you mean? I dropped her off. We dropped her off close to school. And she said she didn't make it to first or second period. I said, please check with the rest of your friends.
There's the we dropped her off. Hey, Pam. And Angela said Jen Soto was a substitute teacher at school. I'm sure the counselor thought she knew her, and the hurt was referring to the anxiety attack. I believe the counselor is really feeling guilty for not knowing. Right. We talked about how Jen Soto was a substitute teacher there, and the counselor probably felt that she knew her enough, especially being a substitute. You're a mandated reporter. I think that's how she got away with it. I questioned the hurt thing. I talked about that when we went over that interview, how she could have questioned, she might have been questioning, was it related to mental hurt or actual physical hurt? It's just, and I think that she felt guilt as well. I'm not trying to blame her. I just have an issue with this hurts and the drawing and the why and the I don't like this and things. It just, a lot of these things add up to me. But again, like I said earlier, to be fair, she sees her for what, maybe 5 or 10 minutes once a month between classes. She's also thinking that Madeline is seeing a professional psychiatrist or therapist. So, you know, that could be a reason for that. But it's just weird to me that hurts.
She did. She got back to me, said none of them saw her today. I emailed one of her teachers. Her teacher texted me her attendance for the whole day and told me she wasn't in school at all. That's when I knew something was wrong, and I freaked out.
Okay. Is it typical to walk to after school?
If I'm working, yes.
And where in relation to the school, like, is it a close walk, long walk?
It's a very close walk.
Okay.
It's weird to me how they reference it as being a close walk, but it took her, 20 minutes to drive there?
So typically in the morning, if, or I guess before Stefan moved, did he live with y'all? So it's typical of him to be able to get her ready in the mornings and drop her to school. Do you all tend to split that?
So yeah, they're referencing when Stefan used to live there. Bad Girl said, why is it that it took you to know Maddie was absent to know something is wrong with your child? Another good point.
That responsibility, or what does that look like?
Typically, I do it.
Okay.
This morning, because of my work schedule, because I've been so exhausted, I asked him to take over and do it, and he said he would.
Okay. Has he done it before, though? Like, is he familiar with how to drop her off? And
I'm gonna say he's done it once or twice before. I'm not too sure.
okay.
I mean,
In the time since he's been back, well, not.
You would know if he dropped her off ever at all, because if he had never dropped her off, you'd be concerned about him knowing the procedure to drop her off and pick her up, knowing where the school was, all of that. And it's been stated by like everybody else that he never dropped her off, took her to school, picked her up. Mallory said she showed up an hour early to be the first in line, like a good little mommy, but then leaves within a few minutes of Maddie not coming out and decides to leave and not check in the school. Right. Exactly.
A bullshit? A bullshit? A bullshit. A bullshit.
And that's what I think about that. I mean, it's just odd. Like any of us, if my child didn't come out of the school when they were at regular school, I would have walked in the school and say, hey, have you seen my child? Like what? That's logically the next step. She does sound so chipper and casual, and I can't with her either.
Not this time, because he's only come back over the weekend. But in the other times, he's done it maybe once or twice.
I'm gonna say yeah.
Is there any reason that he drops her off, or he dropped her off a block away instead of dropping her off to the school?
Because she asked. Because she is embarrassed of his car.
Really? When did she express that?
Multiple times when we've been like, okay, I think Stefan might take you to school or he might pick you up. She goes, can he pick me up far away? Can he leave me here? Like I don't want to be seen. I'm just like,
What car does he drive? I'm curious.
it's that Buick.
See?
Okay.
But to her, that's an old car.
That's where she says it's that Buick. That's what I was referencing yesterday. She says it's that Buick. So I mean, number one, it's not normal for Stefan to drive the Lincoln, right? Like, if she's referenced the car being an old hoopty, she would be referencing his original car, the Buick or Cadillac that he drove or whatever. Well, supposedly his Buick or Cadillac or whatever is down by his dad's house being worked on. And that's why Dad gave him the Lincoln to drive. I don't think that she's confusing the Lincoln. She says, like, why does Maddie think that it's old hoopty? Because it's an older car. And then he says, what car does he normally drive? That Buick over there. It's not normal for him to drive the Lincoln. The Buick's supposed to be down being worked on. That's what I was referencing yesterday. I don't think that she's confusing the two because, again, it's not normal for him to drive the Lincoln, right? Why do you say that, Jenny Jim? What am I doing? What's wrong? Listen.
Might take you to school or he might pick you up. She goes, can he pick me up far away? Can he leave me here? Like I don't want to be seen. I'm just like,
What car does he drive? I'm curious.
it's that Buick.
Oh, okay.
It's that Buick. The Buick that's supposed to be down south getting worked on. It's not normal for him to drive the Lincoln. Like, So is the Buick in her parking lot? If the Buick is in her parking lot, why is Chris Stearns saying that it's down south getting worked on? Why is he saying that it's down south getting worked on? And why the hell is it even there if he's, driving the Lincoln and hasn't lived there in months? Right, like it's she didn't forget what he's driving. It's not normal for him to drive the Lincoln. That's the poodle ambulance.
To her, that's an old
No.
car.
Fancy taste. I get it. Can you remember anything about Sunday or Saturday or this weekend where she may have said that she was wanting to hang out with friends or something she was wanting to do or anything?
Boomer said that Chris referenced the car as a Honda. So maybe it is a Honda, and the Honda's being worked on, or maybe he was confused. She said it's that Buick. That's interesting to me.
On Sunday, she actually had a party, and she had some friends come over. So she hasn't expressed that she wanted. She actually got to spend time with friends and family. She had a great Sunday. She came back with a lot of presents. She was super happy.
Okay.
Hey, baby.
So no arguments at home recently or anything?
Cute.
No, nothing like that.
Here's your pretzels.
Has she ever, in the totality of, I guess, everything, as long as she's been, ever gone off to spend time by herself or gone to hang out at a park by herself or something to kind of clear her own head?
So there's a lake right behind this building. She'll sometimes sit at the dock by the lake, but I check on her often.
Okay. I'm just trying to figure out, I mean, if she...
Gray Moon said that Potato doesn't know the difference between a Lincoln and a Buick. Right, but like, okay, if Maddie has referenced beforehand that she doesn't like for Stephen Stearns to drop her off or pick her up because she doesn't want to be seen in an old hoopty, that would mean the car he normally drives. Like, if she said it so many times before, that would reference a car that he's normally driving. From what I understand, the car he normally drives is indeed a Buick, and it's supposed to be down south being worked on. However, Chris Stearns references it as a Honda, so it could be a Honda. But the Lincoln is not a car that he normally drives. He's driving that because his car is being worked on, whether it be a Buick or a Honda. So if it is a Buick, and if she is pointing to a Buick in the parking lot that he normally drives but isn't driving right now because it's messed up, hence why he's driving the Lincoln, why is the car there when he hasn't been there in months? Why is the Buick still there if it is at her parking lot? Because obviously he didn't drive it there. He drove the Lincoln. And if it's there, why isn't it down south where it's supposed to be being worked on? Do you understand? Do you get what I'm saying?
I don't know if something at school upset her, something here upset her. Not that it would be anyone's fault, but if there's somewhere that she may go for, like, you know, peace of mind.
Yeah, it would be the lake right behind the house.
Does she do any extracurriculars?
No.
Got it. Now your roommates, I know you told me their names earlier, but can you give them to me again?
Right, Florida girl. Maddie's friends said she wasn't that happy. Friends didn't show up. She didn't get as much money as she hoped for. As I recall, Jen is lying. Yeah, she didn't. She had one present on the table. She was really upset. Her birthday didn't go as planned. She was upset, but everybody else says she was happy. Gray Moon says, I understand, but I honestly think Jen Soto was confusing a Buick with a Lincoln. And it is possible. It is possible. That's just stood out to me as being weird. Sarah said, welcome, beautiful people, both new and returning. Please smash that like button. Get this incredible channel into the algorithm, sending all the love and good vibes. Thank you for that, Sarah. Please hit the thumbs up if y'all don't mind.
I didn't write it down.
Sure. Angelica. And then Negro, Nigro.
Uh-huh.
And then
Okay, Jenny.
Nathalie, which is Nathalie. Rosero.
Rosero. Okay. Do you have their phone numbers by chance? If they're not here. Are you okay? Do you have to use the bathroom?
No, I'm just anxious.
Okay.
I've got anxiety.
Why are you so anxious? Jackie, I agree. I think all of us could all use some more support in our lives.
Let me see. Where is... Okay, Angelica, she primarily speaks Spanish, so you probably need a Spanish speaker.
And then Nathalie.
Thank you, Zan.
Got it. All right. When's the last time you got in any kind of trouble at home?
I'm going to say a few weeks ago.
What was that for?
I don't think... If she gets a yelling, or if she gets in trouble for anything, it's for her disorganization and messiness. So she leaves laundry on the floor, her room's a mess, she keeps her space very disorganized. So I kind of get on top of her. Do I remember the actual argument? No.
It irritates me how she refers to it as her space. She keeps her space very disorganized.
Went through her text messages back on February 2nd or 3rd. She had expressed to a friend that, I was crazy. I was acting, being nuts.
Almost stuff to say.
Yeah, apparently I don't remember this in this conversation. I remember saying this once, but not in February. But she had said, if she continues to behave this way or not listen, when she turns 18, I'm not going to want to live with her.
Okay.
Or
pulling the crazy train to a complete stop immediately and abruptly. No, ma'am, what you said was you were going to kick her out before she turned 18. That's what you said. You said that she had an issue with you, basically with shit that you were saying, and you threatened to kick her out before she turned 18, not when she turns 18, I'm not going to want to live with her. We saw that in the body cam.
So I would ship her off to her dad's.
Oh.
But I never...
Where's your dad live?
That wasn't even mentioned.
Houston, Texas.
Okay. Has she ever expressed wanting to go back and live with them?
No.
How often does she see him or talk to him at all?
Talk to him once in a while.
Via phone or probably?
Yeah, via phone, yeah.
Okay.
Text message or Instagram, they'll message each other. But I talked to him last night, and she's like, just so you're aware, she hasn't said anything about making plans to come over here or see me or come visit me, so he doesn't have any information on where she might be.
Okay.
He's actually willing to come over here, too, if we need him to.
Gray Moon, thank you so much for the super sticker. I really appreciate that. That was so very sweet and supportive of you. Thank you. Thank you so much for that. Rose Thorne says, so Steppen Stearns was willing to take the poodle ambulance to get there. Yeah, he's going to make it. Supposedly for her birthday that he didn't even go to. Okay. Thank you, Gray Moon. That was so sweet of you.
But she's never made any plans, I guess, to go see him.
No.
What's her dad's name?
Tyler. His name is Tyler.
Do you know his phone number?
So I think it's this one.
1-800-FA.
And he lives in Texas.
FO.
Houston, yeah.
How long has he lived? Or how long?
Hold on.
He was in the military way. Either it's Kansas or...
Oh, so he's never had any, custody or anything of her?
Nothing.
Okay. And has she ever Has she ever formed a relationship with him where they bonded and talk or anything that like she? I guess I would try to rule out the possibility that she would be trying to go to Texas and see him or meet up with him or.
They're as close as they can be with how limited contact he does have with her. He texts her once in a blue, right? Not as consistent as I would like him to, but I don't think she's making her move to go.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of people thought she said once in a Blu-ray, and while it's possible, I think she said once in a blue, right? But it is possible that she said once in a Blu-ray. And again, that's going to tell me that she's just all discombobulated and all over the place. Who says once in a Blu-ray or even once in a blue, right? Like, that's weird.
Yeah.
She's left her debit card here. All of her money's here. Her cell phone's here.
Is it typical of her to leave her cell phone? Does she normally have it?
She's got ADHD. She's very forgetful. This happens often.
Oh, so she frequently forgets her things.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's a lie, because the police, when they were questioning her, said that she never forgets her phone. The cell phone data shows that she never forgets her phone. Hey, Fisher Blue. Fisher Blue said, I listened to a pedo's interview and everything he said he did, Stefan also did. That is crazy. Gray Moon said, Jen Soto distanced herself whenever she's talking about bad parenting. She gets a yelling or she doesn't want to live with me. Right. Yep.
As far as her mental diagnosis, she's diagnosed with ADHD. How long has she had ADHD?
Since she was like 5, 6. They also diagnosed her at the same time with autism. So she's had an autism diagnosis for a few years now. I've reassessed her recently. They told me she had some autistic traits, but they weren't sure if she was autistic.
So, I mean, do you ever notice her mental capacity impacting her ability to, I guess, be around other kids or function normally?
I would say sometimes, because she acts... I'm not sure. Sometimes she'll make some decisions that I'm just like, where did that come from? Like,
I mean, is that like, would that be a result of a mental disability, or would that be like a result of her being?
Anders, I thought you had said that she said Cadillac, which Cadillac is a Buick car, right? Like Cadillac is a type of Buick, but she says Buick. And again, Lincoln is not a Buick. Lincoln's not a Cadillac. Like, you know, I don't know. It's just weird to me. Maybe I'm making a mountain out of a molehill with that one, but it's weird. I wish I could see this body cam.
I mean, does she, I guess like basic questions I always kind of ask her, can she feed herself without assistance? Does she shower and bathe without assistance? I mean, she has a phone so she can text and talk to people. She has friends.
Oh, they are all three different.
Gotcha. And has she ever complained about school?
My bad.
Not complained exactly. I know it's tough on her. She's given a lot of work. She's always behind on work.
Okay. Got it. And I think the deputies already last night kind of went through her social media a little bit, but if you're okay with it, I'd actually like to take her phone so that I can see if I can get anything else from it. You know, typically me being able to go through it and go through text and social media will help me sort of establish a pattern of where people go and whatnot. That's something you'd let me do.
Sure. Will you take her phone away forever, or just for right now?
Just for as long as I need it to actually go through it. So I'll give it back to you as soon as I'm done.
Why would you ask at this point, are you going to take the phone away forever, right? Like, if you think that she's going to be found and she's going to come home, why wouldn't they automatically give her phone back? It's not going to be an open case. It's not going to be an investigation. The only reason they would take her phone and possibly keep it forever is if the child is deceased and it becomes a court case like it has. So why are you automatically asking, are they going to keep the phone forever? Is it because you know that she's deceased and you know that once they take that phone, you're not going to get it back until after you go to court and deal with all this? Why would you think they're going to keep it forever if at this point in time you think that she's going to be found soon and you're going to get all your stuff back? That's weird.
As soon as we find her, I'll get back to her, hopefully.
See, like he said,
Yeah, I mean, that's just about all the questions.
we'll give it back as soon as we find her. Give it back to her, hopefully. That's the normal thought process of that.
I have at the moment. You know her better than I do. I guess my last thing would be like, what do you think based off of everything that we've talked about and everything that you've learned so far? Is anything sticking out to you?
Based off of everything, me knowing her and knowing how she is and how tight-knit we are, like, I don't think she would run away.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like she was taken, like, on that short walk from where she was dropped off to the school. It was early in the morning. I'm not sure how many cars were around.
Mm-hmm.
I think she was dropped off somewhere between 8:30 and 8:45 in the morning, which is earlier than we normally take her.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure.
Okay.
I want to say, I think from what I understood, Orange County got footage of someone by the church in a description of what she was wearing early that morning, just hanging out in the parking lot, and then she got up and left.
Yeah, so the video, they wrote it here, but there was a video of essentially
Possibly Jennifer Soto pretending to be Madeline Soto? Possibly, essentially.
what looks like her at around 8:45, just about that time, walking into that church parking lot that's right near where she got dropped off by Stefan. And it looks like she sits there for about 15 minutes or so and then walks away. So
I'm wondering if it's typical for her to wait at that parking lot too for my stepdad to pick her up from school. So it's not abnormal for her to hang out there.
In that parking lot?
Yeah.
Okay. Can you think of any reason why she might have chosen yesterday morning to wait there?
She is way too calm.
I mean, obviously, your stepdad's not picking her
he
up
wasn't
in the
picking her
morning.
up.
But
I wonder if she knew, like, if she had an idea she was super early, so she was just trying to kill time a little bit. But I don't know why she didn't go directly to the school. Like,
yeah.
She should have.
Okay.
I know when Stefan dropped her off, he said that he saw her rummaging through her phone as he drove away, like deeply looking into her backpack.
Yeah.
I'm assuming she was looking for her phone and realized she didn't have it with her at that time.
Got it.
But
okay. Does she have any kind of voice?
She's talking real low again. Real low, real like a child. Like when you get on to a child. Right when she says she would have no reason, like she was recalling walking away or going anywhere else. She would have no reason to go anywhere else. Again, she gets low with her voice. That's what she does when she's lying. Zan said, there she goes, someone wearing what she was described wearing at the church. Yep. We're almost done. I think we got another couple seconds of this.
Boyfriend or significant other at school that she's ever talked about or expressed?
No boyfriend. She did recently tell Stefan that she had a crush on a boy.
Oh, okay.
And we saw messages between them, and nothing seemed weird. But you can look through that as well. His
Thank
name
you.
is
I assume another middle school boy.
Yeah.
Okay. Got it. All right. Well, that is all the questions I have for you right now. I'm going to go ahead and end this, and I'll just get one more quick thing from you. 11:44 hours.
I want to know what that other quick thing you got from her was, sir. Like Abella said, Maddie must have complete justice. Nothing else will do. And it's just not adding up. I mean, there's no way that you could. We tried to run through this and make it like Jen Soto knew anything, like didn't know anything, right? That was going on. And we were not able to do it. There's just too many times she says things and slips up and says things that just don't add up. It's so weird. I just can't. And going through these interviews again and talking about the depositions and things, it just makes it brings back to the forefront all of these witness statements and all of the things that have been said and how much it doesn't make sense. Hey, wait, what? Thank you for being here. Wait, what is thumbs up number 91? Thank you for that. I really appreciate you all so much, and I have so much love for y'all. I really look forward to our time together. I enjoy it so much. You guys make my day better and brighter. I really enjoy digging through these interviews and looking for all the inconsistencies and things that don't make sense. Thank you all so much for being here with us today. Tony said, I think she was the planner, and I think she was too. I really do. I love you all, and I hope you have a wonderful day. I really appreciate you all being part of the Speculating family. If you need to email me about anything, please feel free to do so. And stay safe out there. It's a crazy world we live in. And I will see y'all tomorrow at 1:30. I hope you have a good night. Stay safe, stay warm, and see you tomorrow. Thank you so much, everybody. Again, thank you for the support. Thank you for being here. Thank you for sharing your thoughts, opinions, and speculations. And I should get that depositions video out tonight. So be on the lookout for that. Thank you. Have the best day ever. Bye.